and TV. I beg what nasi, watch a train some no. Oh, Bessanim. My sorry, me pencil some will be a sympathy. Tani ebeya, me sumati some kosua, my mind soup. Medi me fidi na koto Kings just sing radio. Me pa dance enti media to Kings just TV so. I wanna me hunu seb asama ya kanyina ya no pari todo. Say ya politics ya to ya bo wasi chira unsamu pefe. Ni obane humoding eni ni odio mind sika grato correct. Seba omainum samsoa yakukom yami akohwe de ekoso ni pasitemu wa brabomu ani ni eko ni ebo awaresemu ajumasemu apanya wo befasoa ubedie anopa drive time show and you may so you even drive now weekend digest so yeah the bema every weekend. Say a bad yamia samsua, Yatujuma diabidi, Shamu Gidia, Pasia de Numurabia, Sajuma dia, Yadeshisha suo. Yambakwa, what you madia, so I drink chira, you're ready to comment. Please just radio and TV. We are here to serve you better. Together we can build.
Odofo Kristo asmu genkan ene fida na minimu se otumfu Nyankopon no amani tumi ayekese ewo wo ene abusua ni nyina so odofo Awurade na aye o jiw Awurade na aye yeda so wolent birim ene ti sore na yemfa ni gentle presera him number 328 the 5th stanza majidi na yenye ni se yewura Yesu no ninia odini moja ejeye bonimu ao mira ma jete na ye ene esa ye wo ora aye so Isaiah chapter 58 verse 9 to 10. Odifu Isaiah homa ti aduonuma wotwe chichemu akron and do. Then you will call and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help and he will say, here I am. If you do away with the yoke of the oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourself in behalf of the hungry and satisfies the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness and your night will become like the noonday. Anu na obefre na Awurade bebuya wo. Wobetiem na obeka se mini se wuyi konua fi wumu nsatea tie ne ehuhu kasa na wode nea wo krape ma ne okom de no na woma okra a oye mobo no me a eno de wo han bepue sum na wukusu beye se awia kete. Hallelujah. Odofo na watwi no odifu nanum asam kuya ne yagina so o se wolanti bribu no se yebo modern na ye ikonua fi obi konso na ye jai ensaten ayateatea e wa amanfo so na ye yi ehuhu kasa efi yanum ene ya abrabom ya na ye de nia yakrape e ma ne okom de na ya mo okra a oye mobo no me a Awurade se enu na ya befre no na Awurade bebuaye mesra Awurade lanti biri a orefra no yi Awurade omu ya wa Awurade until the nimu nkyerɛw ne yɛda yɛn nkoma so sɛ ma ka kyerɛw se ɛnkɔnum aduru ngu ɛnkɔsɛn wo kwan ahoma hwɛ sɛ wode bɔ mpae sɛ Awurade mu yɛ aware kwan yi Awurade bebue afei ɔrehyɛ nipa nyinaa nimonyam a ɔbɛhyɛ wo nso bi sɛ woresrɛ Awurade sɛ ɔmu yɛ wo yɛfiri kotokuya no yi Awurade bɛyɛ sɛ yɛ akwantum nsɛm nkrataa biribi nyɛ Awurade yɔna ɔyɛ ɔnokwafo Say ye jumasam. Say ye massitinam nsam. Say ye court. So be nari jewe japade. Onyame ono kwafo. Ose na eno na wo hang be pue e wo sum. Mesra Awurade, oma wo hang empue e wo sum. Inka ochina mi le wodomo gbalo wiemo no. Eke kaji wo mehe ne jo. Kaji wo jie wo wa bi ni wo pa ye men konklo ba no. Ni wo jie wiemo ine sa kaje wo lile na. Ni mo ni homo yiolele. Wo han le no ko yiyo. Eke be chabele wo ba chele ni e ba bo wotwe. Wo chele ne ba kake nam. Minka buake. Ohie ehye kosi ni okpe kosehu Yehowa e ba fe no ni sa Yehowa labi ehawo ake no sole ake gbele gbe ehawo ye gbami ye e ba fe afine e so no o gbale gba ake e gbele obusuna nka afine e so no gba fami sanji wo ji ami sanji no ko shele fe wo bi ka nu tumo ni wotawo Yehowa seba jiegbe na otia so kan se eno de wo han be puye wo sumu na wo kusu beye se ewia kete Awurade ma wasam enya no kware Awurade ma wasam emrem nia esum bi dade so nia na abraba ye sum Awurade ma ehan puye ma nia awreho ahyade kumamu ma Awurade dan no sero waye bida ebrinsu yama yen anopai minim ni eda okoma so minim wo dadwen ena minim wo haw enyo odifu bi ore bompa ya ma wo sa wo ti abrochiri na wo refra Ghana odifu sa o ma wa kwankyere yiwani na wankasa konkotodwa anim na sere Awurade oya ni da so a onhye ni ma yen konya me anim anopai ni amompa na yen kase eti sabibue manua na bibo Meja Oroso Oludomi Zabibue Mano Mediana Bibo Baya Meja Oroso Audura Beloved, the Lord, this morning, thank God for another day. Today is Friday. Celebrate the Lord's goodness in your life. Thank God for His word and pray into the word. Call upon the name of the Lord, for He will answer you. May you cry for help. The Lord is ever ready to hear you and say, here I am. This morning, pray. Every darkness surrounding your life, pray and ask the Lord that let there be light. May your night become like a new day. Present your challenges before the Lord, your heart desire. He alone will answer. Pray into the day and ask the Lord God to order your steps and bless the day for you. Anopai fasida emerate. Ewo yi awa ye wunti. De Awurade asema sama odi adomo. Na bompa ka kire se Awurade. Ebre amiri fra wi. Awurade buya me. Ebre amiri tie mu yi. Awurade mami hu. Awurade mesra wo. Mami han empue ewo sum. Esum biara atwa be ho ahia. Na mami kusu enye se awia kete baba for sero shamano eden na eda okoma so eden no haw eden no amane fakwa Awurade anim ono nkuto na ono ena obey bopai pejabusia no emma wo kafo wunianom sira Awurade so ma na da yi so enye nsira ma ma ye mompai aseda ya wudi o ayeyi eya wode wa ma ade akye yi ye de anore ka se Awurade wa ya ade ye da wasema wasam papa ni ayar kanyina ne se anopai tie yen wan anopai fisuru musoro na behu mammopo papa ma yan han empue e wo sum esum biara oyare sum a eda wo babis me pompai wo Jesus Christ ni bu se Awurade ma han empue wo odonfo ma wo han empue ma yaresa enya ne de me pompai shira ni siore no so na biore di endurare nom and found sani ayare nete say ya cancer yare biara Awurade ma yare samra papa ma konu yampai wan anopa mi sraw mani ana abraba ye kusu no papa ma enye se awia kete yesu na yasraw se ye nyame kaye anopa mi pompai ni ana ani da so asama na ni da so ye nu anu ma wore hwa kwan wa aware papa fa tomu won wa ma won se won meja foforo papa ma won se so boyafo emrem won a wore hwa kwan wa awu papa fa tomu won won ware show kwan wa adwuma mu papa ma adwuma kwan enya kesema won wan on peso be yodi hafo no peso be okwadwofo eni ti opa adwuma ye papa tomo no anopa bi pompai wo Yesu dimu mipagya yɛma ɛba w'anim yɛma a wɔwɔ sukuu mu ɛwɔ wiase afade nyinara titiri Ghana ha yɛba wɔn asoa yɛ den na wɔde wɔn ho afra wɔn a wɔyɛ ne bɔnefo yɛma a wɔnom adurubɔne yɛma a wɔde abrabɔ bɔne wɔyɛ browser sakawa yɛde wɔn nyinara ɛhyɛ wɔn nsa berɛ ti sɛ yi papa do wɔn ma yɛn wae anɔpa yi mi bɔ mpae yɛn nuanom yɛn ho kafo nom yɛma a wɔwɔ afi ase mi bɔ mpae ma wɔ Yesu din mu titiri wɔn a wɔwɔ poster homes papa hu wɔn mɔbɔ yɛma a wɔn nui sɛ wɔde afi ase nanso wɔde wɔn akɔto wɔ papa ma wɔn nsa soɔ wɔn so wae ma wɔn hu na ma wɔn anu onyam hyɛ gye kɛse anɔpa yi yɛn nuanom a wɔwɔ amanɔne mi bɔ mpae wɔn asetena mu nsam wɔn abrabɔ mu nsam wɔn aware mu nsam wɔn adwuma mu nsam wɔn krata nsam yehowa fa tom wɔn Ghana hyɛ wɔn nsa o papa ma Ghana nye yie wae ɔman panin hyɛ wɔn nsa o ne vice hyɛ wɔn nsa wae yɛn mama gye yɛn ministers nyinaa hyɛ wɔn nsa papa tom wɔn wae ma Ghana ho dɔ nhyɛ wɔn ma na nyɛ wɔn kotoku mu ɛne wɔn abusua nkuto yɛn parliamentarian hyɛ wɔn nsa o the ruling party the opposition parties yɛde hyɛ wɔn nsa papa ma wodom nyɛ kɛse minority leader majority leader speaker of the parliament yɛde wɔn hyɛ wɔn nsa yɛn chief justice hyɛ wɔn nsa wae anɔpa yi yɛn security agencies nyinaa hyɛ wɔn nsa yɛn sogyafo yɛn nyinaa hyɛ wɔn nsa yɛn papa brigadier mande medu yɛn sogyafo nyinaa gyina mu ma wɔn sɛ awurade ɛmo wɔn ho ban yɛn polisifo ooo mo de yɛde mo nenam abiri biara adwuma biara yɛn polisifo de wɔfrɛ mede mo hyɛ awurade nsa wae IGP oh me bɔ mpae wo ne wo COP fo nyinara titiri COP nana nkati afiri bɔn oh me do your point of contact ɛmɛ polisifo nyinaa wae nana onyame nhwɛ mo so ɔma mo nyi yie onyi ɔpɛto wo mfi mo so anɔpɛ nyame yɛ ɔnokwafo tie yɛn mpaebɔ na ma yɛn sufrɛ ɛnu w'anim ɛmira mo sa yɛn awurade Yesu Kristo nti ɛno nti adɔpɛ ɔdɔfo bi yi mpae ma wo sɛ wɔakɔ ahoro nyinaa mu no ɛnsi wo yie sɛdeɛ ɛsi wo kra yie edi ni yɛ ɔsɔfo Kofi mɛnu kura kyampɔn anɔpa yi ma bɛ sra o sra foforɔ mam na ka kyerɛ se awurade ebetie ne mpae.
Yeah.
Jersey Radio. King's Jersey Radio. All right, everyone, good morning to you, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome on board. This is your number one station in America, King's Jersey Radio and TV. We are back again. We serve our God and country. So, time for sports update. The base sports is up next with Solomon Obuade Donto, the sports governor. Get ready, and let's set the ball rolling. The base sports. All right, Solo, good morning.
Good morning, boss.
Now, as I say,
I'm your do yes, sorry, in Quadia, Chediam Poyapo, Astrano, the man.
Piao, and they're not the base.
The base, the base.
Oh, she's the base. I said, Jim number too much in the bay. Ada Obama film where I go from where we. What's it? Nim never and the film number. At the base, what is watching me? I say,
no, this is the Yehudia team. you would get Jim Monkra. Jim Wo, the base. Oh, damn me.
Catch it, Tom. Now you have a summer home. Oh, you have a summer where, yeah. What can be a year?
Meet me, check crowd, meet me, train, and you know, I was ending break. Me show me check, never be checking information. Now, I deal with a bunch of I check. The base, yes, Bimbo Bar.
Yo, and you're not my the base sports. Yentingu from.
Right, not just and terms so I mean when it tells us and State of Nations address and definitely sure say Mr. Abeku Kingsley and your home information yeah and the pepper you know bombe ponytail at the amount you know bomadina or tune in Ghana to modernghana.com Sanso and a Buremu all the way King Jesse on Facebook King Jesse TV Awunya type wa ebia click on it na nyakonya na cheye na bibia so ko Sanso and so no Play Store so and on so tabo King Jesse radio na to nyakonya na wetie bibia adwumagye no se ne ekobia no dan de nyina obenya konya na wetie metie and we download Play app na Play Store na onyakonya atie dan de nyina tie nsa na bibia so etimi enkoyi emfa mouse that page me twentwa so kwa na benit no mame monitor and farm out here, not just a wood semi Canada, USA, not just a good one. I'm an instant and maybe Kaya shot here the amount. The General de Solomon of Boadier, don't tell the sports governor, Mishasia, Nami Copiemo, Ewo, Nami Adma Pastor, Eritmia Bastono, Nicola Jackson, 5 minutes for Amanaya West, and transfer in war on any and call Chelsea for Kachisanto, and no free buy. Need understand of who you want to say and come again to whom you know. Na found the performance in 1 year to Kebia, won't bet me, Ama, with me at a club room. Now to buy be any of my school be our order to do a club room. No, say, and ya give it to me a club. No, the son said, Ubakaya, even players are much GT, Lawrence Sandy Mukrano, or Mukunsa, with disrespect, Umwadi Quadia, by a philosophy, no, or Quabia, so a bit makes out fine. Ama wait me akọ itinu o sha over 2 players say Kim Minjam wo o mo ti bench o my di from Bishop ko at the bench so my team that's so no Nicola Jackson for say o gboro si obi a hormo itinu nei perifo aka kire o board na trance nyame atuma Nicola Jackson mu jana kwan ama na start ko Chelsea back nya dia o betimi assign no permanently to way SMO Sports Good Germany as well to me that to Germany was so Edmond Gianni Infantino, FIFA president, and some to Ja. Now, next time to Jane Nancy, who said, Nancy Mexico, yet to me, a coon, catcher, leader, our most friend, and Matthew, and no way, assembly, much sister cats and it dining Yamanyama, and who a buyer, Mudotona, as was the World Cup, and I say, Yampa, na HBM for to FIFA say, and you when you will be that. That day we still a country be what I say, and me I can say crown. American post issues we war, but yes, we hold World Cup. It's a friend say, Mexico can create yes, say, the cancel World Cup. That be impossible. World Cup already, change that time. Mexico no won't be who's. The only thing is that Mexico are buying any streets, no matter streets, Niema, I thought of one more lazy, no matter to Niema ye. Them World Cup already, Obiato na dream, Quabiaso, Mexico, soon alive. It's way, someone, so no FIFA. And so to me, Eddie to jam it also to Eddie Mauna. Mami Robert Lewandowski, the Polish international, who sent a Cadema Catalonia's Barcelona striker, and they shall sell on also 2020. The manager, our managing the companies, the man in the estates and in the Yamanyama, Dano 2020, Ubakaya, start 2020 to 2023. No case be by manager, no Ejinisika, almost 23 million euros. Next, Takesia. Emma Oma sentenced to 10 years and May 2026 and so on. After manager, if you want to the other actually your back, no, course, or bad or handle where Juma, a red so baby out. That's what by so no, in the estate, will get Lewandowski in the estate, die back, and what Mayoka, wɔtɔn yɛ no ɔbaa no tɔn no 3.4 million 3.4 million no ɛyɛ check ne yɛde maa no ɔbaa no gye yɛ na watransfer sika no ɛde egu ɔno n'account mu na kyerɛ sɛ ba saa deɛ a mekwagye bi ni hɔ so ɔno nso no ɛde ɔmo agyeli no for 2 years sɛ wɔnkɔ dɛm na kyerɛ sɛ Robert Lewandowski ɔmo ewia no yie paa ɔno nso sɛ wowia no nkɔ adeɛ a ɔbɛma wadɛm nti wei ɛyɛ nsɛm a ɛno so ɛkɔ so a mede wɔn sɛ so ɛde ma maame wura mu wɔ Manchester City foɔ akakye o sɛ nansɛ mede to dwa sɛ City foɔ sɛ nyame adom na sɛ case a financial breach a wɔn atumi abreach no nyame adom na sɛ ebubɔ wɔn ma so bɛhyie pa almost 115 cases no ɛne yɛ meka sɛ wɔn de information ɛreba no sɛ nyame adom a na sɛ ebubɔ wɔn a yɛbɛte Man City for 40 to 60 points 40 to 60 points it's about Sadia in direction not just a relegation and now Ebeko yes relegation and a Manchester City a bit me a case no so State City for bit me a general every moon at ye pa in the Rebe and sure not just say you bought 40 to 60 points there you bet so we are so quadia na aka kam ye really gnomu ne de beto padia ene kwa bia so na tese no no otilo relegation ena wo ko ti we ama gradually say wo twemienu ama teams do na so dwen se baba sadia ene na tese omunya gradually so a omo pe ti no we ensem eno so no ekoso a e facility one me de won se so eremo na mami we mo Bodo Glimt na Bodo Glimt wo sha UEFA Champions League omo ya de pa ball omo bono enye fediago na idea abra wo mo started some this last season UEFA Champions League na nyama nkoyi emfama wo mo na no na coach ni kofa na down for our psychologist no sign military man say omra no meboa no is as the players no wo mo bobo na no musuo o mo hia bi se Madrid o mo suro o mo hia bi se Chelsea o mo suro o mo na we so jani bra na beboa ye na fa show mo adwimu say wo metumi ya pa so jani ne pa wa ka players ne say hey master obi an obi a mon fanse mutrim saa sɛ wɔyɛ Madrido wɔyɛ Inter wɔyɛ hwan mu na mo hyɛ no na muntumi ɛnkyerɛ sampa mo so mo yɛ nipa different na sɛ yɛ club no na mo different mo nyinaa mo yɛ nipa wate ase a mo betumi miti na mo tumi ahyɛ mo nua ti na mpɔne pa psychologist na yɛ adwuma ama nɛ wɔn mo kyi Inter ɛnom no wɔn mo kyi City fo ɛnom na Atletico Madrid ko mo kyi no ɛnom no na kyɛ sampa wɔn mo bae so mo ɛba abɛbɔ yɛ pa psychologist no ayɛ adwuma so far ama nɛ wɔn mo tumi qualify to the round of 16 stage ɛwɔ UEFA Champions League wɔn mo ɛsi wɔn mo gyi de sɛ kwan bia so wɔn mo twa ko so na wɔn mo tumi ɛwura mu ɛwɔ grand finale Bodo Glimt ɛnso akakye ɛho sɛm na mede tu dwa na meka UEFA Champions League no ɛho sɛm no then so far ready qualification aba na me aduma ene na draw no eba into the 116 stage you know as na qualify Tottenham qualify Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Chelsea, Man City, Atletico Madrid, PSG, there's Madrid omu nyina etimi qualify omu hwani mu say draw no ene why ene kosia why na me aduma ehun information na that graduate da ehun information na betimi dia bro na me wo ewo na say UEFA Champions League to ja Madrid ne Benfica issue akofo ansem bebre aba ene Nicolas Otamendi ono ex media beto ne brother junior brother de beto no ne Instagram page na wode de wode beto ono no eye Vinicius Junior ene picture na Vinicius Junior no ne picture no na wa ma ye ne nine say gorilla no ne nsa ene ne nine as a gorilla not to say indirect no we are black what I say you two say we are black monkey na no akofo nsem bebre aban kofu na edia tema me bia ka Otamendi man tantem so no we delete page no but answer no be delete no be so a screenshot na dada and ya screenshot to ane omo afale case na ne answer na to say no ebetimi Nicolas Otamendi any inu no betimi enya big time stance in pants way someone no so no ekos one me dey so erema na in the history of UEFA Champions League no won esida the English teams makumako esia omo ebetimi qualify round of 16 stage English teams makumako esia ebetimi qualify Champions League round of 16 stage you know into bit say Arsenal qualify yes say Ultra City qualify Chelsea qualify Tottenham Newcastle munyina this time around they qualify to the round of 16 stage you know that's to say this time around with the English football is progressing its way somewhere else we don't want to Elma Ocean La Liga so Omonia 3 strokes and Bundesliga nya 2 so anya 1 and Liga nya 1 Premier League Portugal Premier League no onya 1 and a Super League Turkey also nya one no Galatasaray so and our PMO or Denmark also nya one. It's not just a English league so far. They are leading in terms of world football. It's where someone national across one million was so America English league no was and matches in the to draw over the weekend. English matches that it's not to down. Say the back on over only wonders any answer Villa and then you 8 p.m. So Emma that channel so Bournemouth and so any Sunday on Mary that so 12:30 in a match which matches I just here Samson of Belly and then Brentford so no 3 p.m. and then Pokwa Liverpool and so West Ham United so 3 p.m. Newcastle and so any Everton or 3 p.m. Leeds United so and then Manchester City 5:30 Yami Atuma and our channel and then so no Brighton Hove Albion and Nottingham Forest so Mary that so 2 p.m. and Fulham and Sonic Palace and also 2 p.m. Manchester United and Sonic Crystal Palace and 2 p.m. and Arsenal, the Gunners and the Chelsea, the Blues and so 4:30 p.m. and no English derby. Yamianma, if it's not to jump in also so everyone who is well senior is a super common from my next no is an Amifa Episano, it's just for Croatia, not a who remove here pink queen black queens for no. Pink Ladies Cup tournament we catch on annually via and no mutu bono. Yami atuma battle it's battle no yami atuma here or down China it's no Black Queens and Hong Kong our mufiwa many Russia and Tanzania and the very so and no African women's nations tournament bet me to judge yan with me at so Eddie Mami so midway to Kwadia president of Ghana football everything on Kreku and so no FIFA abona baso say why the oban no wabonu mo dem football ko president kwa atone ni ye pa na no and on so that just FIFA so for 10 years in your buy no wabonu mo di ye papa preja via self na football and my football ex ni aye de ye pa and something on the two dey kotie na fe ya ka kire ye jemu na from Abeko Council ye ko kotie ni ndem.
No kasa se say yewura otumfo oni Ghana mamo ha o mu se o mpanifo mo hwe na chi manade but me kan say IMC no se me no kasa be sinei yemu no se yegu IMC a manhia ebe ma omanfo ati nhyiamudie de ebra no bi ya no isan se wonu se de club no manhia je na ade no eho na instruction no do no efri nti ebra no bia no manhia to no safre IMC agent mu e ma kwankyere ne yi nti no ade a eta koso ndi ze nhyiamudie bi beba enya de foforo bia.
Okay,
right it's not just we communication director Edema Kumasi Metema Asante Kotoko Tumfora na no mshare say ayadia Sapo Enaduku and our Esquire lawyer Edema Kumasi Metema Asante Kotoko communication director and someone to Janine and say I am in the jail 2 for a dissolve no or 2 for no crown only or mine Ghana Sisia and I am in the just say since the no corner we are crown and son now be dissolve I am in now you with me Apao board of directors no met me handle Kumasi Asante Kotoko we there's some Sapuduku etimiditu name we Diana make catch on say 30 years to Kweku FIFA born na baso or no so etimi ebo Kweku so also bo FIFA so abaso 30 years to Kweku.
So a lot of people call you president. I prefer to call you brother because you're a true human being. You're a brother who cares, a brother who shares your exciting moments with us, a brother who is concerned about our problems, somebody who is truly special to the Ghanaian game. Under your leadership, the Ghanaian football has made lots of successes. We've relied heavily on your support for all the investments that we have made at our Tenka Center in Pram Pram. We are so grateful. Pram Pram is gradually turning out what we want it to be. And here, when I speak about Pram Pram, is our soccer center of excellence in Ghana. Construction of new pitches, renovation of the facility, construction of external wall, the gym facility. I think that it's been an amazing story for us. Besides this, I mean, you gave us approval and we invested heavily in the construction of the first ever FIFA AstroTurf in the Upper East region of Ghana, for which reason the young boys and girls in that entire region are now realizing their dreams and pursuing their aspirations, but for the support that you offered us. And we are very much grateful for this. I think that on behalf of everybody, every level of football, we are so much grateful. We wish you a happy anniversary. We appreciate you a lot as a brother and as a leader. And in the years ahead of us, we pray for God's guidance and mercy upon your life. And we're looking forward to standing shoulder to shoulder with you to preach your gospel, the gospel that you've been constructing over the last 10 years, the gospel that you intend to preach to the world in the next few years ahead of all of us in association football. So again, on behalf of everybody in the Ghanaian game, on behalf of the executive committee, we wish you a happy anniversary. We are grateful for the support. We're looking forward to sharing our good times and I would say our good times and our good times with you. Thank you.
Kings Jersey Radio.
Right, it's 30 years to Koku. I know your Ghana Football Association president. I know now what they say we have to just say FIFA for 10 years or by now. I think say what the project need football project, you know, especially Ghana and my football. They say the nema etnia koyi pa. From no so no Ghana man soccer of excellency. Or by no so no. Wabwa Emma or Funia Mayi or so you know no or both FIFA abasu pa. Or the 10 years already in the position of it's way someone 30 years to Kweku should team the two dry and some no a dozen because attention to top on Koy. They are doing the chair very so far. And if I say no Asia, I mean Jemu, I'm the senior man Abeku Kingsley now also enter Jimedian so and that is State of Nations address and check our presence so ever.
All right, thank you very much. Solomon Obadiah Donto and Yatinin Kane Asabri Ode Agudie Munsama Muhiam Wade Abrayina Solana Pay Mayana Wasi Mu Juma State of the Nation address time bang.
Almost this year Baba Bedouin Emma or Tivonum Kase or Bessory in Wabakasa.
Yo. Busia enche yebekwa kofa bi ede abremo enti stay tuned whilst we also move on with the show this morning. Yebekwa akofa State of the Nation address no omampeni ba bekasa ode oman Ghana yegina pen ede bekire yen na asem bi wo ha mpese mebɔ na utie ansa ne yakɔ we from yen osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah kasem bi. I want you to listen before we move on. Na yenhwe Ghana say ampa ni papa ikan ye edaso ye adwuma saa na tie anasa de na asesa yentie kakra na yensan emra.
Daughters of the Black Star, I speak not from nostalgia but from unfinished duty. History has called my name again, because the questions we faced at independence still stand before you today. Who owns Ghana? Who directs her wealth? Who defines her future? Until these are answered honestly, independence remains incomplete. On this anniversary of the interruption of our constitutional order in 1966, I ask you not to dwell in bitterness, but in understanding. Nations grew through memory. Forgetfulness is the enemy of progress. What happened did not only remove a government, it shook the confidence of a young nation that had begun to believe boldly in itself. When confidence is shaken, dependency quietly returns. I was accused of dreaming too big, of moving too fast toward industrial transformation, continental unity, and intellectual self-determination. Yet, the world never advanced through timidity. Every nation that commands respect first imagined itself greater than its limitations. Look around you now. The resources remain. The intelligence of your youth remains. The creativity of your farmers, traders, engineers, writers, and workers remains. What weakens a nation is rarely lack of capacity, but lack of coordinated purpose. A people divided by suspicion cannot build enduring prosperity. Reject the false choice between freedom and development. They are not enemies. True freedom empowers development. True development secures freedom. When corruption flourishes, when public trust declines, when institutions serve factions rather than citizens, both freedom and development suffer together. Economic independence was always central to my philosophy. Political flags mean little without economic control. If raw materials leave your shores cheaply and return as expensive finished goods, dependency persists. Industrialization was never vanity. It was survival, and it remains survival. Africa still watches Ghana. This nation once carried the torch of continental self-belief. That responsibility has not vanished. The world respects Africa when Africa respects itself. Unity was never a slogan. It was strategic protection against exploitation. Fragmentation weakens bargaining power in trade, diplomacy, and technology. I acknowledge what my critics said. Leadership must listen. Power must remain accountable. No system is perfect, but instability is not reform. Destruction is not correction. When nations repeatedly reset through disruption, long-term planning becomes impossible. Stability anchored in justice is where progress grows. Young Ghanaians, you are not prisoners of history. You are authors of what comes next. Study deeply. Question courageously. Build ethically. Refuse the comfort of cynicism. Patriotism is not blind praise. It is constructive commitment. Love of country must express itself in competence, integrity, and service. To those in public office today, remember, authority is temporary, but legacy is permanent. The measure of leadership is not.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable members of this august House, Your Excellency, the Vice President, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Your Lordship, the Chief Justice, the good people of Ghana, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, and let me proceed on the protocol so well established by the Speaker and say, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is both a profound honor and a constitutional duty to appear before this August House to deliver its message on the state of the nation as required by Article 67 of our Constitution. I do this with the perspective and through decades of public service, including my time in this very chamber as a member of parliament representing Bole Bamboy, and my previous term of office as President of the Republic from 2012 to 2017. My journey in public service, like that of our nation, has not followed a straight path. It has been marked by periods of steady progress and then by setbacks and by determined recovery. Mr. Speaker, that pattern of resilience mirrors the national experience of our nation. And today I stand before you to speak to another such defining moment, a moment in which our nation is on the rebound of national renewal and of restored hope. This moment is being shaped by hard choices, institutional resolve, and a renewed commitment to stability and national purpose. Mr. Speaker, in just a few days, on 6th March 2026, our dear nation Ghana will celebrate 69 years of independence on the theme Building Prosperity, Restoring Hope. This theme is not merely ceremonial, it is the blueprint that guides our administration's vision and actions. It reflects where we have been, it acknowledges the difficulties we have endured, and confidently declares the direction in which we are headed. At the heart of this vision are two complementary and mutually reinforcing agendas. One, the Resetting Ghana agenda, and two, the Accra Reset. The Resetting Ghana agenda is our national commitment to restore economic stability, rebuild public trust in our democracy, strengthen our institutions, and deliver tangible improvements in the lives of ordinary Ghanaians. It is about turning the page on years of mismanagement and confronting our challenges with honesty, and charting a new course anchored in fiscal discipline, transparency, and sustainable development. The Accra Reset, on the other hand, is our continental commitment. It recognizes that Ghana's prosperity cannot be separated from Africa's progress. It calls for a fundamental shift in how African nations relate to one another and to the world, from dependence to self-reliance, from fragmentation to integration, and from reactive postures to strategic leadership. Mr. Speaker, these two agendas are deeply interlinked because we cannot build lasting prosperity at home without contributing to stability and growth across our continent. Equally, we cannot lead effectively on the continental stage if our own house is not in order. Together, these frameworks demonstrate our determination to restore hope, not merely as a promise, but as a lived reality of Ghanaians and Africans alike. As we build on the foundation laid in 2025, the first year of my return to the presidency, we do so with clarity of purpose, unity of action, and confidence in our ability to deliver a future worthy of our people's sacrifice and their aspirations. Mr. Speaker, this moment of national renewal unfolds against the backdrop of a world in profound flux. The global order we once knew is being rapidly reshaped, and the so-called rule-based international system endures only as long as it protects the advantages of those who designed it. Once emerging nations like ours begin to operate within those same rules to rebalance power, the very architects of that order prove willing to relax their commitments. Ghana, like many nations, has learned this hard truth. We cannot respond to this new reality with fragmentation, hesitation, or continued dependence. History has long taught us that resilience and prosperity will not be handed to us. They must be built deliberately through cooperation, self-belief, and strategic alignment. This era ahead demands that Africa must move from a posture of dependence to one of collective self-reliance. Mr. Speaker, it is in this spirit that Ghana has sought to play a convening and catalytic role on the continent. In the middle of last year, our capital Accra hosted African heads of state, policymakers, and development partners for a landmark health sovereignty summit. Together, we charted a new roadmap for healthcare financing and collaboration among African nations. And that message was clear. Africa must take ownership of its health security, pool its resources, deepen collaboration, and design financing solutions that reflect our realities rather than external prescriptions. Strong economies require healthy populations, and health sovereignty is inseparable from economic sovereignty. The same logic applies to trade, industry, and economic growth. Africa's future lies in dismantling our artificial borders, removing bottlenecks that stifle commerce, and fully activating a common market that allows our goods, services, and capital and ideas to move freely across the continent. No single African country, no matter how well endowed, can thrive alone in this new global environment. Rather, when we work together, our combined markets, our youthful populations, our natural resources, and our creativity will constitute one of the greatest economic opportunities of this century. Africa must summon the courage to shape its own destiny, building genuine sovereignty across Africa. The Global South requires a deliberate and disciplined plan, one that begins with unlocking the immense human and creative potential of our young people, strengthening regional value chains to add value to what we produce, mobilizing domestic capital to finance our own development, and speaking with a single, coordinated, and confident voice in global affairs. Mr. Speaker, this is how Africa can move from promise to power, from participation to leadership, and from dependence to self-reliance. The path forward is clear. Africa must rise with confidence, unity, and purpose. And Ghana stands ready not only to rebuild at home, but also to work hand in hand with our African brothers and sisters to shape a future that is defined by shared strength, dignity, and prosperity. Mr. Speaker, we have resolved here in Ghana to operate with our eyes open, to protect our sovereignty, and to design policies that place our people first. We'll continue to engage with the world, but on terms that reflect our interests. We will uphold global norms, but we will not outsource our judgment. And we will build resilience at home so that shifts in external power do not translate into hardship for our citizens. Mr. Speaker, when I last came before this House, I spoke candidly about the depth of the challenges we had inherited across all facets of our nation. Mr. Speaker, nowhere was this national malaise more evident than in the economic sector. We inherited an economy in severe crisis, burdened by unsustainable debt, high inflation, a rapidly depreciating currency, and an escalating cost of living crisis that had left our citizens reeling from unimaginable hardship caused by years of general imprudence and reckless management of the economy. Mr. Speaker, I was clear from the outset that recovery would not come easily. But I was also clear that I will stop at nothing to turn this situation around and bring relief to Ghanaians. I promised then that just as I have confronted and overcome crisis in the past, I'll reset our economy and return us to a path of growth, progress, and development. Mr. Speaker, I told this August House then, when I appeared before you last year, that we would have to take tough, prudent, and necessary decisions to restore stability and credibility. Today, Mr. Speaker, I can say to you with confidence, Ghana is back. Ghana is working again. And Ghana is open for business. The fundamentals are improving, and the path to sustained acceleration is very clear to everyone. From the outset, we resolved to choose discipline over waste, reform over excuses, and stability over speculation. As a responsible government, our first order of business was to halt the economic hemorrhaging and restore order to our public finances. We tightened expenditure and commitment controls. We improved payables reporting and conducted a comprehensive audit of 2024 commitments to restore credibility and discipline. Mr. Speaker, these measures have begun to deliver some of the most remarkable economic outcomes in decades. Mr. Speaker, as we approach the celebration of our 69th independence anniversary, we do so not only with pride in our past, but also with renewed hope for our future. We are building prosperity through sound policy, responsible governance, and inclusive growth. We are restoring hope by delivering on our promises and proving that good leadership makes a measurable difference in our people's lives. The Resetting Ghana agenda is working. The Accra Reset is gaining momentum. And together they are laying the foundation for a stronger, more resilient, and more prosperous Ghana. Mr. Speaker, our nation is on the runway. It is in takeoff mode. And you are all advised to fasten your seat belts. Mr. Speaker, the journey continues and the direction is set and the hope is real. Our theme today of building prosperity, restoring hope is not merely aspirational. It reflects the tangible transformation we have delivered for the Ghanaian people. Mr. Speaker, our economy has grown significantly. In 2025, Ghana's GDP is expected to reach $113 billion, an increase from $83 billion at the end of 2024. This has placed Ghana, because we have borrowed less and spent more responsibly, interest rates have fallen, confidence has returned, private businesses are breathing again. Private businesses are breathing again. Mr. Speaker, the 19th of December 2022 will go down as one of the darkest days in Ghana's economic history. On that day, Ghana declared its inability to honor its debt obligations. We declared a debt default and placed a moratorium on both domestic and foreign debt repayments. Following this, we entered a protracted and complex debt restructuring process. Ghana's debt became a shackle on our economic progress, dragging our nation down into hardship and despair. Looking at Ghana's restructured debt profile, it is clear that those who negotiated on our behalf were only intent on kicking the can down the road. With the largest debt repayments scheduled, interestingly, between 2025 and 2028. Mr. Speaker, we confronted this crisis with action, not rhetoric. We established sinking funds, we restructured obligations, and we pursued bilateral agreements. Mr. Speaker, the result, public debt fell by 82.1 billion Ghana cedis and took our debt to GDP from 61.8% to 45.3%. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the sharpest reductions of debt in Ghana's history. Mr. Speaker, just this year, after the New Year celebration on January 2nd, when people were still recovering from hangovers, we settled a a US 709 million euro bond. Ahead of schedule, we settled a US dollar 709 million euro bond ahead of schedule, completing the US 1.4 billion in debt service that was meant for 2025. Mr. Speaker, and the world noticed, Fitch, Moody's, and Standard & Poor all upgraded Ghana's credit ratings, the first triple upgrade in many years. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's credibility is restored. Ghana is rising. The heaviest burden we inherited was the very high inflation rate, which was silently eroding every household's purchasing power. It peaked at 54.1% at the end of 2022, and it declined to 23.5% by the end of 2024. Mr. Speaker, we treated this with urgency. Through fiscal consolidation, currency stabilization, and disciplined monetary policy, inflation fell from 23.5% at the end of 2024 to 3.8%. Mr. Speaker, inflation fell from 23.5% at the end of 2024 to 3.8% over 13 consecutive months by January 2026. Mr. Speaker, and very interesting, food inflation, which had been the main driver of the upward pressure on inflation, fell by 26.6 percentage points. Inflation for locally produced goods fell by 22.6 percentage points. Mr. Speaker, these are not just statistics. These translate into the reality of a parent being able to put food on the table for their children. It translates into the reality of businesses thriving and creating opportunities for Ghana's young people. Mr. Speaker, petrol prices dropped from 15.2 Ghana cedis to 10.7 cedis per litre. And only recently, it dipped below the 10 cedi mark to 9.97. Diesel fell from 15.4 to 11.3. And this brought relief to our nation's 3.7 million car owners and the tens of millions of Ghanaians who depend on transport daily. Mr. Speaker, to the interesting part, exchange rate volatility has long been at the heart of hardship in Ghanaian households. We made currency stability a priority, and Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies. And I'm pleased to report to this House that the cedi appreciated by 40.7% against the US dollar and by 30.9% against the British pound and by 24% against the euro. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's economic turnaround is broad-based and comprehensive. All sectors of the Ghanaian economy have witnessed remarkable improvement in our first year in office. And most importantly, Ghana's economy has surpassed the 100 billion mark for the first time. And as I said, it is projected to place Ghana among the top 10 largest economies in Africa. Mr. Speaker, our reserves currently stand at $13.8 billion from $8.9 billion at the end of 2024. This covers 5.7 months of import. A key driver of this development has been the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board. By formalizing gold exports, we have reduced smuggling, we have increased recorded exports in the artisanal and small-scale mining sector from 63.6 tons to 103 tons. And we've channeled that foreign exchange into our economy. Mr. Speaker, when the cedi stabilizes, imported inflation falls, businesses can plan better, and household incomes improve. Mr. Speaker, as global uncertainty grows, it is necessary for us to reduce our country's exposure to external shocks, break the cycle of economic downturns, and safeguard our macroeconomic stability. Just last Wednesday, 25th February 2026, the Minister for Finance presented the Ghana Accelerated National Reserve Accumulation Policy to this House. Mr. Speaker, this policy seeks to strengthen our country's external resilience by increasing our international reserves to 15 months of import cover by the end of 2028, supporting long-term structural transformation while safeguarding macroeconomic stability. Mr. Speaker, it is forecast that gold prices will remain high over the next 3 years. And so this presents us with a unique opportunity to build an economic war chest to withstand any global economic shocks, to secure our macroeconomic stability and improve the standards of living of our citizens and build a lasting prosperity for future generations. This is what the GANRAP policy seeks to achieve. Mr. Speaker, we abolished nuisance taxes that were levied on Ghanaians between 2017 and 2024. These included the e-levy, the betting tax, the emission tax, the COVID levy, and so forth. Mr. Speaker, we have reformed VAT comprehensively. One, by abolishing the 1% COVID-19 levy, decoupling GetFund and NHIL from VAT, reducing the effective VAT rate from 21.9% to 20%, raising the VAT threshold to 750,000 Ghana cedis to exclude petty businesses, and extending zero rating on textiles up to 2028. Mr. Speaker, these fiscal reforms have effectively put 6 billion Ghana cedis back into the pockets of Ghanaians. Interest rates have fallen from above 30% to currently between 18 and 20%, freeing up credits for businesses and households. And according to the Ghana Statistical Services, over 1 million Ghanaians have found employment between Q1 and Q3 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, and 950,000 Ghanaians have escaped multi-dimensional poverty over the same period. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that our external position has strengthened significantly. By December 2025, our current account recorded a surplus of 9.1 billion, representing 8.1% of our GDP. This is a remarkable increase from 1.5 billion or 1.8% of GDP in 2024. These achievements have been driven by robust gold, cocoa, and non-traditional exports, and increased remittance inflows. This improvement demonstrates that our economy is gaining strength and resilience again on the global stage. We've moved decisively from planning to action on our flagship 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program. This was officially launched in 2025, and this transformative initiative is designed, 1, to unlock round-the-clock economic activity, 2, deepen our value chains across key sectors. 3, boost productivity and support export growth. And 4, create quality jobs in agriculture, manufacturing, logistics, and services. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank this August House. On 6 February 2026, this House passed the 24-Hour Economy Authority Bill. This has established the regulatory framework and the legal mandate that was necessary for full implementation. Last week, at the cabinet meeting held, I had the honor of signing this historic legislation into law. All is now set for takeoff. This is the boldest economic transformation initiative in Ghana's recent history. Mr. Speaker, in this year's budget, 110 million has been allocated to begin the setting up and implementation of the 24-Hour Economy Authority. These resources will enable businesses to operate beyond traditional business hours. They will attract investment through strategic partnerships with the Development Bank of Ghana and the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, and they will strengthen the foundations for sustained growth and job creation, especially for our young people. This is about building prosperity and restoring our people's hope through concrete action. Mr. Speaker, a nation that does not learn from past mistakes cannot get out of the cycle of problems that impose hardships on its citizens. We've just begun to emerge from the most devastating economic crisis in our nation's recent history. This crisis was triggered by general financial indiscipline, huge deficits, and massive debts that were occasioned by persistent and unbudgeted expenditure to meet the ends of convenient politicking. In the last week, we have had to take the painful but necessary decision to revise the producer price of cocoa to achieve competitive pricing and resolve the acute liquidity challenges in the sector. Mr. Speaker, failure to do this as others did and left a debt of 32 billion for this government to pay. Failure to do this would have meant borrowing billions in borrowed funds. Mr. Speaker, this unplanned expenditure would have taken us right back to the very devastating economic problem we have only recently begun to escape. So, Mr. Speaker, while fully understanding the concerns and protests of our farmers, I can firmly assure them that the reforms announced by government will see a total transformation of the cocoa sector. And it will guarantee them a fair and transparent price that enables them to meet the cost of producing the commodity and making decent margins. Mr. Speaker, the difference between economic hardship and I'm Parliament's prior approval before any government asset or property is leased out or sold. This includes lands and state enterprises. Mr. Speaker, last Tuesday I caused the Minister of Finance to lay before this House the value for money office bill. This is a landmark measure, a fulfillment of yet another campaign promise to the good people of Ghana. And this is designed to decisively end waste, inflated contracts, abandoned projects, and chronic cost overruns that have for far too long drained the public purse. All these measures are intended to improve public trust and accountability. Mr. Speaker, in January 2025, we inherited an energy sector on the brink of collapse that had been precipitated by a severe financial crisis. the sector was burdened with a staggering debt of 80 billion Ghana cedis, strengthening the operational viability of key power producers. The 500 million World Bank partial risk guarantee, a critical risk mitigation instrument that was established in 2015 during my first term to safeguard the nearly 8 billion of private sector investment that was put into the offshore Cape Trade Points field, had been fully drawn down and exhausted due to prolonged non-payment for gas consumed. Mr. Speaker, at the distribution level, the Electricity Company of Ghana was plagued by high commercial and technical losses, collecting only 62% of the energy it purchased from generators and declaring less than 50% of its collection into the cash water. Mr. Speaker, the result was severe liquidity shortfalls and power challenges throughout 2024. In the petroleum sector, years of policy inconsistency, regulatory inefficiencies, a lack of transparency, prolonged licensing processes, and unresolved legal disputes over field unitization had eroded investor confidence. Consequently, crude oil production declined by approximately 32% between 2019 and 2024. It fell from 71.4 million barrels per day to 48.2 million barrels. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to announce that as of December 31st, 2025, government has fully repaid and restored the entire 500 million World Bank guarantee, including interest. This has reinstated the facility in full and reaffirmed Ghana In addition, between January and December 2025, through carefully coordinated policy actions, the government settled all outstanding gas invoices that were owed to ENI and Vitol, amounting to approximately $500 million. And so Ghana is now fully up to date with its gas consumption obligations to the Sankofa partners. And I'm pleased to announce that the 2026 budget has made adequate provision to ensure timely payments for all liquid natural gas that we consume going forward. Mr. Speaker, to ensure equity and fairness, the government has also held constructive engagements with Tullow Oil and the Jubilee Field partners, and we've reached a comprehensive roadmap to guarantee full payment for all gas that is consumed. This approach supports reliable nationwide electricity generation and accelerates industrial growth. Engagement with upstream partners has resulted in increased gas production, guided by a clear national vision to rapidly scale up domestic gas supply and reduce reliance on expensive liquid fuels. Mr. Speaker, beyond clearing inherited arrears, a robust framework has also been established to strengthen and monitor implementation of the cash waterfall mechanism. Another major milestone was the operationalization of the ECG's single holding account, which is overseen jointly by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions and the PURC. This intervention has significantly reduced revenue leakages, and it has enhanced ECG's capacity to meet its payment obligations. To address the high cost of power, the government has successfully renegotiated existing power purchase agreements. Engagement with the 9 independent power producers have resulted in a 250 million immediate savings and 1.1 billion of legacy debt restructured for payment between the period 2026 and 2028. These revised agreements will be submitted to Cabinet, and I'm pleased to inform you, Mr. Speaker, will be brought here to Parliament for ratification. Mr. Speaker, under the Rural Electrification Program, 200 out of the 400 targeted communities have been connected to the national grid. with a further 100 at various stages of completion. The national electricity access for Ghana today stands at 89.05. We are committed to ensuring that every Ghanaian has access to reliable, affordable electricity. It is worrying that the Electricity Company of Ghana continues to experience high power losses, with reports indicating that around 25% of generated power is lost. To address this phenomenon and anchor the gains we have made, adopting private sector participation, particularly in billing and collection, is the most effective way to significantly reduce these losses. Cabinet has approved the multiple lease method for concessions in the distribution utilities, and work is ongoing to implement this critical reform. Mr. Speaker, the Bui Power Authority has completed an additional 50 megawatts of solar power. In the distributed solar sector, 30 megawatts was achieved through rooftop installations, bringing our total installed capacity to 250 megawatts of solar, and this represents 5% of renewable energy in our entire generation mix. A few months ago, I broke ground for a 200 megawatt solar power project at the Dawa Industrial Zone, with the first 100 megawatts scheduled for completion in December 2026. The Ministry of Energy and Green Transitions is constructing 35 mini grids to serve 47 islands and lakeside communities in the Oti, Savannah, and Bono East regions. The ministry also supplied 12,000 new smart net meters from the end of the first quarter of this year, 2026. And under the off-grid solar home system for public institutions, delivery of materials for the first phase of 350 systems has commenced. It means that public institutions are going to be fitted with solar to reduce their power consumption. Mr. Speaker, as part of the last mile electrification effort to achieve 99.98% universal access by 2030, the ministry has mainstreamed mini grids into the national electrification scheme. Consequently, a feasibility study for the Afram Plains North District was completed for 100 communities to receive solar power, bringing the total number of islands and lakeside communities in the Afram Plains North and South to 150 that are ready for mini-grid solar electrification. I'm pleased to announce that the African Development Bank has committed to providing $100 million to fund the construction of renewable energy-based mini-grids for these communities. Mr. Speaker, we've signed a memorandum of understanding with the Jubilee and Tenfield partners to commit another $2 billion to additional investment in the Jubilee field. This will include drilling up to 20 new wells, the first wells being drilled in more than 9 years. Mr. Speaker, there's a second memorandum of intent with the OCTP partners, that's ENI and Vitol, to commit 1.5 billion of additional investment in the OCTP field in the Cape 3 Points Block 4 contract area, among others. This agreement will significantly increase Ghana's oil and gas production, thereby enhancing energy security, domestic demand, and infrastructure development. Mr. Speaker, we are on course to revitalize the Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Company through a strategic partnership with the National Petroleum Authority, Ghana Gas, and the Ghana Commercial Bank. This will boost production, ensure a steady supply of safe LPG cylinders, and strengthen local manufacturing. Mr. Speaker, I'm also pleased to announce to you that Tema Oil Refinery is back. The new management of the refinery has successfully completed extensive turnaround maintenance, and I'm pleased to inform you that this August House that for the first time since 2018, the refinery has commenced processing of crude oil into petroleum products again. So, Mr. Speaker, let me assure our countrymen and women that the energy sector reforms continue unabated. I remain fully committed to turning around the sector, strengthening its foundations, and ensuring reliable, affordable, and sustainable energy security for our nation. Mr. Speaker, agriculture remains central to our national renewal. Since January 2025, this administration has embarked on a decisive reset of Ghana's agricultural sector under our Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda, with the Feed Ghana program serving as the flagship vehicle for implementation. Our objective is clear: to restore food sovereignty, stabilize food prices, reduce import dependence, increase decent jobs, especially for youth, and reposition agric as a strategic growth sector under our 24-hour economy policy. Mr. Speaker, as of January 2025, food inflation stood at 28.3%, following an unprecedented peak of 61% in January 2023. This situation placed severe pressure on households and undermined national stability. Today, food inflation has declined significantly to 4.9%, and this has provided relief to Ghanaian families and businesses. Mr. Speaker, this year we have committed 300 million Ghana cedis to the National Food Buffer Stock Company to mop up excess produce, to stabilize prices, and build a strategic national food buffer against emergencies, marking the first time Ghana has deliberately built a food reserve for national resilience. Over 413 institutions, from basic schools through to tertiary institutions, have been registered and are actively participating in the Feed Ghana program. Institutional farming is currently being undertaken by the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Prison Service, the National Service Authority, basic and second cycle schools, public universities, and faith-based organizations, including churches and mosques. A key pillar of the Feed Ghana program is the home gardening initiative. Across the country, families are being encouraged to grow vegetables at home and in their communities to reduce food expenditure, improve household nutrition, and enhance food availability. The Feed Ghana program is also firmly anchored on irrigation for wealth creation. Government is deliberately shifting our agriculture from rain-fed dependence to irrigation-based farming to support year-round production and also strengthen our climate resilience. And so over the past months, processes have begun for the following interventions: the construction of 2 new mega dams, the rehabilitation of 8 existing irrigation dams, and the construction of 250 solar-powered boreholes for farming communities and schools across the Northern Belt and Brong-Ahafo regions. In addition, major irrigation schemes, including the Via, Weta, Tanoso, Bong, Ashaman, and Aveime, are undergoing rehabilitation, while new inland valleys covering over 1,300 hectares are being developed to expand rice production. Under the Global Agriculture and Food Security Program, we've launched a 20 million agro-input distribution project to strengthen food and nutrition security across the Northern Savannah Ecological Zone. This project is being implemented in 12 districts across 6 regions, with a target of 50,000 farming households, including 30,000 women and youth. It will support the production of key staples such as maize, rice, soya bean, cowpea, granules, while promoting year-round vegetable cultivation through solar-powered micro-irrigation schemes for farmers groups and selected schools. The project is also supporting backyard and commercial poultry production, as well as the distribution of fertilizer and certified seeds to participating districts. This will help strengthen the poultry value chain. We're working to fulfill the promise of establishing farmer service centers across the country to modernize agriculture. Procurement processes are underway for a total of 660 tractors, 400 combine harvesters, and other agricultural equipment and implements. The first 11 farmer service centers will begin construction this year and will provide affordable access to land preparation, harvesting, storage, input supply, extension services, and equipment leasing, especially for smallholder farmers. Mr. Speaker, in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to cut short for the first Farmer Service Center in the Afram Plains. Mr. Speaker, agricultural extension remains the backbone of productivity, and to address the current gap between farmers and extension officers, 540 motorbikes have been procured to improve extension coverage. 150 of those bikes have already been distributed, and we're employing 400 Feed Ghana district coordinators nationwide, while 10,000 young Ghanaians are being enrolled under a 4-year National Service Agripreneurial Program with annual absorption into permanent employment. So far, 3,000 youth have been posted by the National Service Authority under the Agripreneur Program. This intervention is strengthening frontline service delivery and creating employment opportunities for young people. We're also placing farmer cooperatives at the center of our agricultural transformation plan. As of October 2025, 70,000 community commodity-focused farmers cooperatives had been established nationwide. And they are serving as platforms to access inputs, mechanization services, climate advisories, aggregation, and fair market negotiation. Government is actively linking farmers to agro-industrial investments to stabilize prices, create jobs, and accelerate Ghana's journey towards food security. A major highlight of this effort is the 154 million Ghana-Italy irrigated commercial farming project to establish a 10,000 hectare irrigation model farm to produce rice, maize, soya, and tomatoes. All produce from this project will be sold locally. This intervention is strategic and designed to fast-track progress towards food security, ensure a reliable supply of raw materials for agro-processing, and reduce Ghana's dependence on food imports. Mr. Speaker, other key initiatives under the Value Addition and Agro-Industrial Drive include rice processing facilities in the Upper East and Upper West regions, poultry feed production facilities in Ashanti, cashew and onion processing facilities in Bono East. In addition, a 40-ton per day soya processing plant is being established in northern Ghana to support soya bean farmers and reduce their feed costs. The share industry is also being revived through secured export contracts and measures to protect raw material supplies. Mr. Speaker, to reduce Ghana's 300 to 400 million annual poultry import bill, Ghana has launched a comprehensive poultry farm-to-table project. These comprise 50 anchor or commercial farmers producing 4 million birds, 500 SMEs producing 3 million birds, and a small-scale Nkokon Kitinkiti backyard and a small-scale Nkokon Kitinkiti backyard poultry program that is targeting 3 million birds nationwide, with emphasis on women and young children. Mr. Speaker, the Nkokon Kitinkiti program is underway as I speak, and the target is to reach 60,000 households. Even before I launched the Nkokon Kitinkiti program, 720 beds had been distributed during the pilot phase to 13,000 farmers in 12 districts. I recently opened a poultry processing factory in Bichim to support expected production growth in the poultry sector. Mr. Speaker, education is important and it remains pivotal to our national transformation agenda. In this regard, the year 2025 was both eventful and momentous for Ghana's education sector. I'm pleased to report that all the flagship initiatives and commitments that were contained in our Reset Agenda Manifesto have been faithfully honored during the year under review. The No Fee Stress initiative was successfully launched in Koforidua, and as I speak has benefited over 152,000 young people, first-year students in public tertiary universities. The number of beneficiaries this year is projected to reach 220,000 first-year students. In collaboration with the Student Loan Trust Fund, I have good news for law students. Law students in Ghana will also be now able to access the student loan scheme to pursue their legal education. Mr. Speaker, the free tertiary education policy for persons with disability has also been launched and is now fully benefiting all eligible persons with disabilities enrolled in our tertiary institutions nationwide. Mr. Speaker, the 2025 academic year saw a stable, uninterrupted supply of quality food to all our schools under the free senior high school program. Mr. Speaker, to further deepen coordination, accountability, and effectiveness in the education sector, this Honorable House passed several important pieces of legislation. These include: 1, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Bill 2025, the Ghana Scholarships Authority Bill 2025, the Change of University Names Bill 2025, the University for Development Studies Bill 2025, and the Ghana Education Trust Fund Bill 2025. To enhance private sector participation in the tertiary education sector, new legislation will be introduced in this House to ease regulatory bottlenecks and remove the requirement to charter, making it optional. Mr. Speaker, basic education remains the critical entry point into our education system. It is at this level that children acquire foundational literacy, numeracy, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills, upon which all future learning depends. Government understands the importance of the basic sector and is therefore undertaking a major policy shift to rebalance our education investments in favor of basic education. As part of this shift, the standards-based curriculum for kindergarten to primary 6 is currently under review to incorporate robotics, coding, and the responsible integration of generative artificial intelligence. Additionally, as part of the ongoing curriculum review, artificial intelligence education will be introduced at an age appropriate and developmentally sensitive, with a strong emphasis on ethical use, digital responsibility, critical thinking, and human values. Mr. Speaker, in response to the persisting challenge of schools under trees, this government has programmed a bold and decisive intervention for the 2026 financial year. This includes the construction of 200 kindergarten blocks, 200 new primary school blocks, 200 new junior high schools nationwide. And I'm further pleased to inform this House, adequate allocation has been done in the 2026 budget. I'm further pleased to inform this House that the government has fully cleared all outstanding capitation grant arrears owed to the public basic schools, as well as clearing all outstanding arrears of BEC exam registration subsidies due to the West African Exams Council. For previous years, the legacy debts to West African Examinations Council have all been cleared. Mr. Speaker, education for learners with special needs is not only a moral right, but also a sound, pragmatic investment. And it promotes equity and strengthens social cohesion. In recognition of this, the amended Get Fund Act has established a dedicated, sustainable funding framework to implement free education for learners with special needs, beginning in the 2026 academic year. Government has also increased the daily feeding grant for students in public special schools from 8 cedis per day to 15 cedis per day. This significant increment reflects our resolve to address the unique nutritional and health needs of learners with disability. In addition, Mr. Speaker, we'll construct a modern state-of-the-art special needs school in Ho in the Volta region, and will rehabilitate and upgrade the existing special needs schools in Okropong, Ekwapim, in fulfillment of our pledge also to provide free sanitary pads to schoolgirls as part of efforts to improve menstrual hygiene and reduce absenteeism among female learners. A total of 12.2 million packets of sanitary pads were distributed to girls in public schools across the country in 2025. Mr. Speaker, we allocated in this year's budget 292.4 million Ghana cedis to sustain the Free Sanitary Pad initiative. This commitment aims to remove gender-specific barriers to education and ensure that no girl's education is interrupted due to challenges related to her menstrual hygiene. Mr. Speaker, as part of efforts to decongest senior high schools and increase access and ensure parity in educational opportunities, government is going to convert and upgrade 30 Category C secondary schools to Category B, and convert and upgrade 10 Category B schools to Category A. In addition, facilities in Category A schools are going to be upgraded and expanded to be able to take in more children. Technical and vocational education and training remain a critical pillar of our strategy to address youth unemployment and accelerate skills development. Government will construct 6 brand new regional TVET centers of excellence across the country to equip our young people with practical, industry-relevant skills aligned with the demands of the evolving job market. We're also undertaking a review of the national curriculum to align with the OECD Future of Education and Skills Framework. This will make TVET education more adaptive and resilient. Mr. Speaker, to expand access to higher education and support balanced regional growth and meet the rising demand for quality tertiary education, we've entered international partnerships to establish 2 new public universities, one in Kentapo in the Bono East region, another in Jasikan in the new public university in Damango in the Savannah region. Mr. Speaker, technical universities play a critical role in closing the skills gap and reducing youth unemployment by delivering high-quality, industry-aligned and practice-oriented training within a broader policy framework that stimulates labor demand. In this regard, government is going to establish 3 new technical universities to strengthen skills development, enhance innovation, and support national industrialization efforts. Mr. Speaker, the Teachers Housing Initiative is a joint effort involving district assemblies, Common Fund, Get Fund, NAT, and JESOPs. And the aim is to build 50,000 housing units for teachers. This initiative is called the Teacher Dabre, Baby a Teacher Beda. This partnership demonstrates our collective dedication to enhancing teachers' living conditions and boosting the retention of teachers, especially in rural and remote areas, and ensuring that teachers can live, work, and retire with dignity and security. Mr. Speaker, by prioritizing equitable access and expanding infrastructure, we're investing in human capital and laying the foundation for a Ghana where every child can learn, grow, and succeed. Mr. Speaker, our health system. By January 2025, our health system was under severe strain. Aging and deteriorating equipment, stalled hospital projects amounting to 15 billion Ghana cedis in liabilities, and growing workforce pressures had weakened service delivery. Over the past year, donor support to our health sector declined sharply from 19% of our total health budget to just 2.2% today, creating an annual financing gap of more than 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. The withdrawal of support from programs previously financed by partners such as the USAID exposed the vulnerability in essential supplies and services, particularly in remote and underserved communities. Faced with these realities, my government chose to act decisively. In 2026, direct government funding for health will account for about 72% of our total health spending. This is up from 56.8% in 2023. Core health allocations have risen to GHS 23.3 billion, and with national health insurance resources included, total health financing now stands at 34.7 billion Ghana cedis. This reflects our clear commitment to domestic financing and health sovereignty. At the same time, we have faced the growing burden of non-communicable diseases. Today, non-communicable diseases account for over 40% of all deaths in Ghana and remain a major cause of household poverty. To address this, the government established the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, otherwise called Mahama Cares. Mr. Speaker, this is the first nationwide financing mechanism dedicated to chronic and non-communicable diseases. Mr. Speaker, the National Health Insurance Levy has been uncapped. Claims payments are now timely, with facilities no longer waiting more than 6 months as happened in the past for payment to be made. We're also finalizing measures to increase provider tariffs by over 100% to reflect the realistic cost of health treatment. As a result of the increased trust, NHIS enrollment has risen from 57% at the start of 2025 to 66% today. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's health workforce density has risen from 16.6% per 10,000 people in 2025 to nearly 42 per 10,000 today, while public sector health employment has doubled to approximately 200,000 workers. And yet, significant challenges remain. At the beginning of 2025, when we took over, 103,000 trained health workers were still awaiting placement, employment or enrollment onto the payroll. Over the past year, 13,500 nurses and midwives, along with hundreds of doctors and pharmacists, have been absorbed into the public payroll. Nursing trainee allowances have been regularized and restored. Application fees have been reduced, and the no-fee stress initiative introduced to ease access to training has been extended. Service conditions are being implemented to boost morale and retention. Looking ahead, government will expand recruitment and take necessary action to add more health workers onto the payroll. We will also correct the maldistribution of health workers through targeted incentives for health workers who agree to serve in underserved areas. Let me use this opportunity to appeal to our gallant health workers to accept postings to our underserved areas, seeing as it is a national call to duty, while we work to ensure that they have an enabling environment to do their work. Mr. Speaker, we will also scale up specialist and advanced nursing training to match the country's changing disease profile. New post-basic nursing programs in cardiology, nephrology, endocrinology, and oncology will be introduced. While the two existing ones, emergency and critical care nurses, will be scaled up. At least 30 nursing training institutions will transition to competency-based degree curriculums, supported by new scholarship opportunities, PhD-level training for nurses and allied health professionals. Mr. Speaker, on health infrastructure, my government remains firm in its commitment not to abandon unfinished projects. We will continue to retool facilities, strengthen emergency and disease surveillance systems, and ensure that health infrastructure is properly aligned with staffing, equipment, and financing. In 2026 budget, provision has been made to commence regional hospitals in Oti, Savannah, and the Western North regions. This will expand access to quality care. Aligned with the reset agenda, we're making strategic investments in local pharmaceutical and vaccine production. The government has allocated 50 million in seed funding to the National Vaccine Institute. And in 2025, a local manufacturer secured market authorization to produce snake venom antiserum right here in Ghana. We're also finalizing steps to implement an advanced market commitment to prioritize locally manufactured vaccines and pharmaceuticals in public procurement. Production of the tetanus diphtheria vaccine is expected to commence this year through a partnership with an Indonesian pharmaceutical firm. Disease control remains our priority in our country's immunization financing. We will strengthen immunization financing. In 2025, the vaccine budget for children and pregnant women was increased by 46%, exceeding the 171 million Ghana cedis. And this enabled Ghana to fully and promptly finance all its vaccines and reduce the risk of preventable outbreaks. In 2025, we also introduced the HPV vaccine to protect young women and girls against cervical cancer. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's HIV prevalence rate is estimated at 1.6%. And as I speak with you, there are about 350,000 of our countrymen and women living with HIV and AIDS. Mr. Speaker, although prevalence is low, some population segments and regions have significantly higher incidence than the national average. The Ghana AIDS Commission has been tasked with ensuring the availability of testing and antiretrovirals. This year, government will fully roll out a free primary health care program, removing all cost barriers at the primary level where it is most needed, while strengthening prevention, screening, and health promotion, especially for non-communicable diseases. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund will be scaled up, and access to advanced cardiac care, including cardiac catheterization services at Tamale, Kolebu, and Komfo-Anokye Hospital, will be expanded to reduce overseas referrals and position Ghana as a center for specialized care in the sub-region, in line with our medical tourism objectives. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health is expected to issue guidelines to eliminate the unacceptable no-bed syndrome. Patients facing medical emergencies must be received and given help, if even under makeshift conditions. You don't need to have a comfortable bed to save a patient. No patient must be turned away from any health facility they report to. Mr. Speaker, but in the meantime, government will expand capacity by implementing the Rich Hospital Phase 2 project to increase the number of beds at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. We will also continue and complete the Police Hospital project, and also continue and complete the La General Hospital. Mr. Speaker, in the Ashanti region, we will complete the Sewa Regional Hospital. We will complete the Aferi Military Hospital, and we will complete the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital Maternity and Children's Block. Mr. Speaker, we remain on course to build a stronger, more resilient, and more self-reliant health system for all Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, roads are a very important sector. We inherited a burden of significant financial obligations and structural pressures in the road sector that had accumulated over the years. As of December 2024, outstanding payments on road projects financed through the consolidated fund stood at 21 billion Ghana cedis. These were certified works executed by contractors across the country for which payment had not been made. In addition, indebtedness to contractors that was lodged with the Ghana Road Fund Secretariat and awaiting payment amounted to 5.43 billion Ghana cedis. This figure excludes accruing interest charges, which continue to compound the state's financial exposure. Mr. Speaker, beyond these areas, we inherited also contractual commitments, that is signed contracts, totaling more than 104 billion Ghana cedis. These commitments represent signed contracts for road projects at various stages of execution, many of them without corresponding secured funding to guarantee timely completion. By the end of 2025, the Ministry of Finance and Roads had cleared arrears amounting to almost 10 billion Ghana cedis owed to road contractors. And we are steadily continuing to reduce the road sector debts. Mr. Speaker, the famous Big Push infrastructure program This is my vision for a national infrastructure drive to restore critical national infrastructure. Naturally, the bulk of the money is dedicated to the road sector. We want to open economic corridors, create jobs, and reduce the cost of doing business. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, work has started on 50 major road projects that cover a distance of 1,144 kilometers. The total estimated cost of these projects is 50 billion Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, government is also completing 23 projects that were awarded by the previous administration but were not paid for. These projects amount to another 573 kilometers and are estimated to cost 15 billion cedis. So if you add that to the 1,500, it means about 2,000 kilometers of roads are currently undergoing rehabilitation as I speak. This is the biggest major investment in our road sector in the history of Ghana. Across all 16 regions, 73 projects are advancing with significant visible progress expected by the end of the year. Some of these include Tepamaban-Goso, the Kumasi Bypass Road, Swami Interchange and Local Roads, Sunyani Outer Ring Road, Sampa Jinijini Road, Techima Nkonsia Winchi Road, dualization of Winneba Cape Coast Road, Kwau Tafo Adosu Road, Dodowa Afienya Dawenya, Bintiri Nakwanduri, Tamale Outer Ring Road, Winchi Sola, Sola Wa, Bole Chache, Bole Town Roads, Nabrongo Tumu, Tumu Han Lora, Atimpoku Ho, Denu, dualization of Accra Aflao, dualization of Cape Coast Akrade, Dadieso Akontombra, to name just a few. Mr. Speaker, other feeder roads are Akosombo Jakiti Kudupe, Kudikope, Yeniam Junction Sedom, Apegosum Pakadan, Todome to Palime Gemini Road. Indeed, there are many others too numerous to mention. And as I said at the launch of the Big Push program, the whole of Ghana is going to become a construction site. And Mr. Speaker, Ghanaians can already testify that serious road works are underway across the country. Mr. Speaker, the Accra-Kumasi Expressway will be a 198.7 kilometer, 6-lane high-speed motorway. This expressway is designed to connect Ghana's two largest cities, Accra and Kumasi, and it will reduce the traveling time between Accra and Kumasi to approximately 2.5 hours. Mr. Speaker, this new alignment will have 8 interchanges and will be Ghana's first true expressway. And so government has established the Accra-Kumasi Expressway Limited, which is a subsidiary of the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, as the concessionaire that will be mandated to design, to finance, construct, operate, and maintain the expressway, with the Ministry of Roads and Highways as the contracting authority. The project delivery is structured as a long-term concession of up to 50 years. Mr. Speaker, this expressway will be Ghana's first purpose-built expressway with limited access points, so goats and sheep cannot cross at any point. Mr. Speaker, it's designed for higher speed limits and modern safety infrastructure to reduce travel time and improve road safety. Preparatory activities including feasibility studies, the detailed designs and cost assessments are currently underway. This major road construction work aims to improve mobility, safety and trade while connecting communities to markets and essential services. Mr. Speaker, the Eastern Corridor. We aim to complete all unfinished segments of the Eastern Corridor Road by the end of 2027. Mr. Speaker, we'll continue and complete the 27.7 Accra-Tema Motorway and Extension Project. And this includes reconstructing the Accra-Tema Motorway into a 4-lane expressway with 3-lane service roads in both directions and interchanges at Ashaman. Where you have the Ashaman underbridge, it will now be an interchange. There will be another interchange at Community 18 and Teshi Link. Mr. Speaker, it also involves remodeling the Tetekwashi interchange. Construction works are ongoing and progress is at 32%. Mr. Speaker, other important projects include the Kumasi Inner Ring Road, the Volivo Bridge over the Southern Volta River, the Dambai Bridge over the River Oti, and the Adoso Bridge over the River Afram at Eche Amanfrom. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Roads has received cabinet approval to reintroduce road tolls on our roads and our bridges. Mr. Speaker, this time using advanced technology to improve efficiency, transparency, and avoid leakages in revenue generation. Preparatory work is underway to ensure the reintroduction of tolling operations this year. Mr. Speaker, there is no doubt that an effective and efficient transport system is integral to any economic development plan. So to improve public transport services in the country, government is supporting Intercity SCC Coaches Limited, Metro Mass Transit Limited, and the private road transport operators to renew their fleets. Currently, a total of 300 buses have been procured to improve road transport. The initial batch of 100 buses is scheduled to arrive in the country by the end of the first quarter of this year. Mr. Speaker, in fulfillment of my pledge to re-establish a national airline, a 10-member task force established to oversee this initiative has submitted a business model and operational framework to guide the selection of a strategic partner for the new national airline. And this new national airline will take off soon, inshallah. Mr. Speaker, passenger traffic handled by the Ghana Airports Company increased to 3.625 million passengers in 2025. This was an increase from 3.4 million in 2024. In response to the rising passenger traffic and congestion at the Accra International Airport's new Terminal 3, we are remodeling Terminal 2 into a dual-purpose facility to serve both domestic and international flights. So when the remodeling of Terminal 2 is finished, all the domestic flights and some of the international flights will be moved to Terminal 2 so that we ease the congestion on Terminal 3. This will improve operational efficiency and enhance the overall passenger experience. Mr. Speaker, Accra's Terminal 3 remains amongst the best in Africa. A new concourse will link Terminal 2 and Terminal 3 so that passengers arriving in Terminal 2 and having to move to Terminal 3 won't have to come out and walk. They'll go through the concourse. Mr. Speaker, Terminal 3 is going to be supported by a new 7-story floor car park. It will also have an airport hotel and retail amenities to service the passengers. Mr. Speaker, runway expansion and overlay is currently being undertaken to strengthen the Accra International Airport's runway. Mr. Speaker, we will also begin work on new regional airports in Sunyani, in Bolgatanga and Wa. In Sunyani, the current location of the airport is not appropriate to extend the runway, and so we have to move and build a new airport at a different location. Bolgatanga, the site has been acquired and work will commence. While also we have to move the airport from where it is because it almost intersects the road and the airport slopes upwards, making it inappropriate for air travel. Mr. Speaker, we are also reverting the airport in Accra, the international airport in Accra, to its original name, the Accra International Airport. Even though NLC Decree 129 was passed, no effort or nothing was done to effect the clause in the decree that said that the airport should be renamed after Kotoka. So in all international records in ICAO and IATA, that airport in Accra, the international airport, remains named Accra International Airport. Mr. Speaker, we are working to fully operationalize the Tema-Mpakadang rail line to maximize passenger and freight traffic between Tema and the north using the Volta Lake waterway. The Western and Eastern railway lines will continue to be modernized in partnership with the private sector. These projects are aimed to support the efficient transport of container and bulk cargo to and from our ports, as well as to facilitate the efficient haulage of minerals from mines in Usuta, Awaso, and Yinahin to the Takrady port, while also providing passenger transport along the respective rail corridors. Mr. Speaker, as part of the 24-hour economy initiative, a new 24-hour operation has started at Tema Port, allowing access to port services around the clock. This development enables importers to clear their goods at any time, significantly easing congestion at the terminals like the transit terminals, the reefer terminal, and the Golden Jubilee terminal. The initiative brings together customs, banking, and other relevant agencies to enhance efficiency, low transaction costs, and boost Ghana's competitiveness as a major trade hub. Cabinet has reviewed the designs and feasibility study for the Keita Port and directed the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority to present an action plan and a roadmap for the realization of the project at the earliest possible time. Mr. Speaker, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, as part of its expansion efforts, has established a new operational office at Adenta Bus Terminal in Accra. If you need any service in the night from DVLA, go to Adenta. There's an office open there day and night. Mr. Speaker, this modern facility operates around the clock, providing continuous service to improve accessibility and convenience for our motorists.
When I just among the third world country, the Bibia, the dances, ya Kechre, our Brabomo, or Sergeant for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah Kasembi. Sadia Tibia, may a show sana would take a crack. Santia be
of the Black Star. I speak not from nostalgia, but from unfinished duty. History has called my name again, because the questions we faced at independence still stand before you today. Who owns Ghana?
I say in Sambisa, Jina Ghana, no, that's where Jina ho. Why and a Ghana yan dear?
her wealth.
When Otutu Ghana Ejapade Ghana Yahunya and ye good year also when etrete no.
Who defines her future?
When Otibe Ghana dachi why
Until these are answered honestly, independence remains incomplete.
Say intimi yi sansa misa we no ano a say yakasa fa hudi pa dia na che say yenya ye fa hudi and besi nne yentimi onwudi omugum ra shebeje fie ye na omo ahye tuntum no omo ahye black enso egu omkom na omo no botia na we ye say ya.
On this anniversary of the interruption of our constitutional order in 1966, I ask you not to dwell in bitterness, but in understanding.
Every young Kayesha fat cassette say way 1966 after Pima Ham Crony do same way. Or Pache and Sanka Mayan Wura a Yaudimu and so bitterness a Yaudipa. And a doctor yang Nambum dear.
Nations grew through memory. Forgetfulness is the enemy of progress.
Forgetfulness is the enemy of progress. Say wana ye buyeni gu nyoma bisua. Oh mi refi ash. O pache say wo mpe kanko ewa brabom. Inti yempenimfo no man mpuntuo nyina abeba no mu refi. Ni asasa wonom ye. Oh, we said it but we couldn't do it. And so na nsan ya ka bo bi ne yedni chi hospital to hospital. Government hospitals ne yedi nipa da sani chi. Onyampa nda so. Womo aya onwakum abrante no so ampa. The person never got hospital bed to lay him on. I'm a true that to a from Zewampa. And see, Bibia tells a young ambulances no cry, you could tell me the Bishop Ayada Kato. Young Timin Ginny Panquamu. You see, near first aid. Uncle.
What happened did not only remove a government, it shook the confidence of a young nation that had begun to believe boldly in itself.
Niasi no enyi sabi wura nkwa wo nambom awoso amankatwa wa kukudro na nko wo ni daso ema ne gidie enna ne sedu hu na awoso ne kanko efi no wobohu sami komanim aname mamachi.
When confidence is shaken, dependency quietly returns.
Sa abasa akukudro pa na ehihimi abasa wankasa ufa ahudi a wo ani swade hu ade bedi nkunuma ye fa ahudi no na atwe asan eninti na onabu Canada Japan the base akukudrufo on sheki bibia sheki no.
I was accused of dreaming too big, of moving too fast toward industrial transformation.
Hey, asa sobua ya de born ne say Kwame Nkrumah doctor woda suna sundudu your vision is too big. And if you pro would your man no ebe kwena nim ntam dodo honorable Kennedy upon say samoto abama me mfo ye mu be hu speed amedi o man development beko eno na waka wa hei ye born sobuo say woda so no vision no so ye ne ye pene nkakra ya de ne nkakra endes ye betimi aye 2-kilometer road eno aro no that's ne ye toa so. Osajifu Dr. Kwame Nkrumah say he was accused of dreaming too big. African. Ahawe akamepa this portion. He was accused of dreaming too big. nipa bi a wo vision akase no cheso sa o man ne mpeno ampa Kennedy afi na mate wase afi na mate honorable Kennedy akompre ko Japan mate wase sa wo vision esoso akase ni na no even cheda na na kwa mbedi akọ wo hwe cheda ni suade huna sa wo nso sa wo fi kwa me nkuro mu na ba ye ndi saafo ne ye mpemo nanso bebi o man na duru no mo na ye pemo also he was accused of dreaming too big afio de o man mpunto tumri kadodo hey sana de no hodada ya no
continental unity,
ana nko pe bibrem nkabom no eliwiase enkabom no da bi ni na da bi
and intellectual self-determination.
Sanka ya dwene ye betimi edi nsuyo akase ye betimi aye bebi ye di nsuyo aye idi ayepe ni na omukutia no.
Yet the world never advanced through timidity.
Enso ni na mu no ehumu o ewiase ntimi ayedan anko nanim ewe ehu ye mu fear timidity ewiase ntimi move on.
Every nation that commands respect first imagined itself greater than its limitations.
Omambia wanamu kuta obuo ne anidie no omuhu se womu susen omusinto awa brabo no mu. Yes, Ghana dey yes anatie. We don't command respect.
Look around you now.
Monhwehwe mu sesia
the resources remain.
Edia ejapadia ye wo nyina eda so ho.
The intelligence of your youth remains.
Yembebunu womunim die nyina eda so ho.
The creativity of your farmers, traders, engineers, writers, and workers remains.
Nianka ya manfo womudu omunim die betimi aye bribi ekuafo ejadifo wonumo engineerfo womo akosku akase nyina no wo chese ni nyina eyade ewo ho chese edaso etim de etim edaso tim de etim koso.
What weakens a nation is rarely lack of capacity.
Nia ama oman bia eju na hoden say yentimi emfa insiyo
but lack of coordinated purpose.
Nambom say yentimi enya obi obetimi atrentre nneoma na yetimi dia kwayenim na brighter media any Lady Mercy ewo hoyi.
A people divided by suspicion cannot build enduring prosperity.
A people divided by suspicion Euradi Yankopon Kahobium.
But lack of coordinated purpose. A people divided by suspicion cannot build enduring prosperity.
We can never build an enduring prosperity. Say yajina adie we say na enye yabi anasa na tie yentimi ntumpon da.
Reject the false choice between freedom and development.
I'll say reject the false choice between freedom and development. Adia papa wade nkoso ba brayen edi mpuntuo ba de bia mse we na ye ne ye gya ne edi mpuntuo ene nkoso ba na edi egu ho na omu pe omu afu.
They are not enemies. True freedom empowers development.
Fahudi mapapa eye fahudi mapa ene na hye mpuntuo nkoso kana.
True development secures freedom.
Ena mpuntuo papa mapa nso ede fahudi nso eye de ede ba.
When corruption flourishes, when public trust declines, when institutions serve factions rather than citizens, both freedom and development suffer together.
My God. Sir, pakata se na proye di hini wa mamu. Na institutions no, ose o we dia minim no, we ye me padi, nti ma me hwe we kane. Ose sa nneoma no kata fa hudie ene yan ye bambo ne yankunim die ka ne hye nti ye hwe. Oh, ji say ye de bibia hye envelope na e de akoma honorable. Oko office wa headmaster no proprietor no ho no fa envelope we di kama no ansa we de fa tu ne table no so man mo bi ehu nti ono so te wo hu na table no ye de afa ho ane ye de ato ase ena ne dialect ne kasa ni na asesa ebusuama tu aso mebre nti nsam bi ha na mepase anopai mekona mene eye apostle Paul Kofi Ejekum yedi nkomo efa the base and na hia yen esan se ne akoyi na me yesure se honorable Kennedy Kwame Akompra ku berima be Japan what baby no hwe no se my beloved country Ghana pa yenie my beloved country oman Ghana pa yenie na de ba ku twa me nsunu mu endra na me hwe Kevin Taylor na utum so odiya because innocent person knocked down by a car. Now we that come your hospital. You say empanho ye ni kopia no bed ye ni kopia no bed omu akum no oman Ghana mpempensu ayedrei. We struggle to even receive patients for emergency treatment. And the biara yeah. Na wait dan my way, na we adan ya my way, and the yakoswa dia say o man puntuo. Inti dia mo hwa we ayamofe. A whole country. Ya bakwasam no mo hwie gu ho no. Are you happy? That is why it is time for new force, new third force to save the situation. I yes, the future blinks. We have no future for our future generation. Now I share that you edada amunamu kura no yenda nchirimba ba kese ye obi a wewu na yesa kese no ye babu ye dua saa. But thank God the coming of the base to rescue the situation for the future generation. Emma adwene nya say eba na base na ba no ye bepa ye fu ene de ye bedi se de akoso ye mo fade a go ahead na mo minim say Ghana ni a wodwene oman ho na Ghana da na kuma so akasa join force with us na the base na aba no ye nkire wiase say indeed Ghana, we are also capable of managing our own affairs. If say yami shira ya de pabiabi, name akodi kamfo, the base has come to tell the truth. Stay tuned. Na mene Apostle Paul Kofi Ejekum. The base National Communications Director. One no dia no yenin komo. Apostle oyami asundwe nkan. Na ohu ya de
yes sir Awurade adum brand na wadwumanim me hoye pa
open ye ya obre omano de aduru no say ye na ya mfa hoden ene nsi ye engine ma mbra sana baba I know kafra yo anape na mabo osaje fu Dr. Kwame Nkrumah nsambia we kuruchire we go na awosekura gume Honorable Kennedy Japan ya wafami na sana papa ya kanina da se oman no na yempe osina owo ye bona subo se he dream too big man no team ne man for bonus was say he was dreaming too big and speeding up development for the country. Ne bonia wo ye nie. And when I'm son about Kennedy, who soon yampa. Apostle, so far the base. Obibeka say yes, update. Na yan hwe ye gina panya. Obibeka say so far so good ana.
Yo nidika no mamenchia Ghana de shia mo batetu mu. Dudu amuwo adwuma mu nsusu amakwa ba moji mahome. Ye mamu nyina ha edi free Ghana Kumasi. Anopei ye da sori ya radie ya dum ye de ho hye ne nse ya to adwuma no so. Wonu mu a omu ye national leaders no ewo putupru enhia mudie Ghana time 2:00. Ghana time 2:00 enti no se suggesting here what the kafra what suggesting here what the national leaders no a
Munja na apostle for yejuma omo
just me perfufru bi na kamedi eno no ye
WhatsApp
ina
yeah
ntisa
okay
enjoy no so nti yenku yanim endi saa no woni ano adwenkyire bia before Ghana 2 no na onfanko on say a party fufuro enti no hwehunu eye na nso so adwenkyire nso kom na yaji obia nim die obia hwehunu na yekurukyire ni nyina won krata so na edi ade fufuro ye na eba amanfo behunu se enya de kronsa te se NDC sem ne MPP sem no different political party a eniema mu da ho fan ntimada o mayeji agenkyire Mr. Uchi chairman nankasa tie edwam 2:00 pepe sa na tie meeting ni bi nso akokoso anopai yebeye nsakra yebebre mreko no enti obia wokura dibire bia tempera
okay
obia ni ba ye started the base ne dibra owo no permanent
all right
no ni na ye tempera enti sedu baabi na yesesam na udibra no bekoso aka wonsam a wo ankasa wadwumaden na bekire empanyi se wabomu na bekire wado so wode akuafo anasa wode dopafo kwafuom se wo munkodo mawo a abomu a waye de abesum woni ampesi a wabo no en na kira betira ide bedo ama wo enti sa pepepe na tie aha
okay enti enenu se obi wo asembise bi suggestion bi a ekwamba na obe reach out to mu a bra motete wo no mmetimi akase we fi abrochirifo no obi afre anasa mmetimi aye phone number be available during question and answers na nka mwadi atum na obi afra mu na mo dia to loudspeaker no we bisa na sam ana how is someone going to reach out
bebe me de yewura Kelly number emamo ono no ye national organizer o meeting no emu a odi akotini enti oni ya no bodi ne kura wo so ano type suggesting mo pia ni nyina kogu phone no so enti wo mo hya ase a medical ne na di nkomo no pay enti no an se obiem se bia apostle ekasa kire mu se yebe meeting na bia mame asmesi na dwenkyire ni sa badoya o mano nye on point brief o se nye dako na betim dia ka wonsim nyina o me wa brochire ni kra mani ami hunu no Can somebody in
ten obia adwunkyerɛ wo obia time abro mpemo ha opeso hwe ni na go
ana sabi won sa asabre na wo so no amana ye bebrebe esa no a ya no maso bu nti ya moma no nye ntientie mmaye moda o mana
yo
point ni ye twere kama
okay but and abobɔ no ma no ma ye
okay me nyina so ma nyina so na me pekali number
okay
na
okay yo
minfa ma
yo
na enye kama pa
Eusia yane Apostle Paul Kofi Ejekum ana yedi nkomo the way Ghana na update this enhyemu bi ebekoso ene Ghana time 2 p.m. ina the base aho adwene ntotoa ana ekoso enti sabiri kura no se uwa semisebi na wa contribution bi a adwene ntotoa bi a wo frɛ no ma yede betudwa na mpenimfo beti na sopem na ebreso a wo de tudwa na o ma twera to ho nse ye be so no so a kwesi se the base ye betimi ade ye ho na bibia to no kwan mu yo wawie
wada ma menya number no
okay ente yankwa
ma me bobo so 054 198 341
okay
Message Sudia 054 198 3341
yo where do
Mr. Kelly
no man no na media two screen no apostle abobos no mamenye ne kase kra na muhuni ye o fresa no man no a so wa adwinkyere bi a wo de fema frɛ no ma no na fema mpanimfo wo mbeso mu asopem na o ma twere 0 o wa abrokyere +233 541 983 341 sa pepepe
right
wo frɛ Mr. Terry wo ho obajesu
sania yehye the base party no yehye ne sa yefro no was stages abrebia no so opese wasem a wo ka kire mpanyimfo no omo enya attention a wo se wo de sha ase free ade a currently no ehia yen
piao
se wo jumpo kofa bibia ebia after 1 year time no say ya asam no make sense to nipa wotie o no say initially no bibia ofi say wo de ba ye adwenkyira ye fa no na ntempa na wo de aba ebasa wo mo draft policies or mo draft constitutions and they factor those things into it na masrem so say obi biara wo adi da so say enam the base party so obetimi de aba akọ parliament obetimi de apre di brebia ofi say obetimi da so man no the earlier no the better me say tie bia no many a compare kon be contest for flag bearership meko na me say be me campaign manager
hallelujah
it won't catch a compare ko se be do contest because any delegates
no delegate system
eno na ye me de wadwuma ye hu se ye yiri ye ho pa timi ma ewiase nyina hu ne se Ghana ye wadwena yetumi ya de foforo anka be me de because me ti delegate sem na every time just me dwino mo ntiase so that se nim pa se ewiase ayete no yete na dwuma abrabo ye bo yete na dwuma obekwa asori a adwuma ni mo enye ye obeware adwuma ni ma enye ye na ndipa timi kwa jisika fun bi die ekoto aba ma obi a onima mmemu ohu bibia nato ne keke ana amanyose mu adododie odi ne kwa begini sa de we hu amenti ase na ya nyiri ye ho a Africa ye bekachi enti mesramo Kona din but ye betimi din kunim. Let's come together to fight it. Na yenya a political system is so decent and straightforward and transparent.
My God.
You minimize corruption because corruption di nya papa Ghana. Di nya yepa. And you know, Adam I say we no ya tutu amanfo nkra and they say maya kwasi ada say no set ye bia Ashanti region executive ombebungunda. Ye man ntina ho ntekra da bidabida he say ubebu konta obwa. Ye man me esa dada ni bi o. Da bi medi esayade. Into obi a wabefa position ato no so no onye ready to be honest, transparent and faithful. And just I forget it.
Yo. Apostle amanfo bi ka se ebia ye hunahuna MPP party ni keke enro obi frɛ won se bro ade amoye montombo na ase mo se party nam se se party ben MPP nam se no man na yetim no obi ni fa hodi obi ntimi nya de obetimi ana nti no are you telling me say MPP party no me na me fim ana obi fim a all say party nti omo kasa agro bi na yedi ampo say o time no so omo mbaba badwedwe yakoma omo tebiri sika bi na omo de abra yense monje na monje ade amoya na mo say party amanfo do MPP party no and then so unfortunately omo bokro no omo ani agye dwuma no say
Endra nananum efrey na emresimu no mema mo interview omo na omo akomo ho abom se nkom pese omo be register na mami si omo kwai na omo beba na oye no mo se ohine ba MPP fo ni bi eba yesenka omo di dwato eba no tumfo ba ya kan bi ama omo no asem omo ka kire omo no se hwe agudie no wase hwe ne ekoso no atragudie o sese atontokwa mo nkai se kotoko hine ka kire mo se monko yi ni omanfo pe mande enti monko onya beduru a sa adwato awi kuranya de beduru ne pra no monko wenya sema e de basante hina nje monko no mpam wonum wose atragudie wo de hodo party ana sani a open na wura ni party ne nyina yi won bi ne tu fu kasa kire wa so ntie enti wo de ne abeya na abeyo ene yenso emrama yenkwanse yenso yeti association ti ye party ene domu nyina se da bi mudie ya mudi bei akono ensem no mudawo ye wo mugidie se mu betima ye bi amana bro party akesie so nti no ye boa mo a eno no how ben pa na wo mu antie ha wo musa min kunja ko se mi dididwa eye me no mimi gidie te say what pen te say victory outreach nasa bi wo hoi na ye headquarters wo asie nimpon no obi nso abeto asase si asondan ya no makoka kire say damfo ja so ni sie na wo de bata me ho de be ha madwene aseben Ghana ye hu anika
Ghana pana me hunu sa ebia wo provision store esi market baby na so bisu besi bi na provision store pana omu afiase be kontokwa onti ase
sa na tie sa den so yetina brochire ube hunu se Sainsbury's wa ha Tesco wa ha wo bi enim ni
oh yes
obi enkon kofa dufa enfam betu obi puna no so wo kikire no ana bia ye wunim ya
munja apostle non kasa
ya te un pa boku kire say wonim say Ghana ye wo unnecessary superstitions ayegidi adia e ma setbacks emu ba kono unnecessary superstitions ne etosu bio over spirituality. And sometimes me gino ho na me heart na me bleed
over reliance of spirituality.
Every wo say idea eye physical, scientific, and spiritual. Na ohienti onipa no adan nyina spiritus.
That's right.
Ye wo kwatwa. Na obi ntimi nye the first step is to establish a trustworthy political party called the base. That's the first step. And this we can't solve it. Now, near say, ye Jan honor the next generation bar. A be an almost to me and solve, and Ghana will be doomed forever. So now, fight it now. And this we lose it all.
Apostle Central Fubimo. Woman Kaja, Omuka said, do it, Chileno. Omon Jidia in Tumkra, Ebimuki Kakeka, and as a Kennedy, Musa Kennedy, or Tinoko Jenny Base for now, a political suicidal, were ending the car a whole lot. Other necessary banasa, Omwan Kazas or Bua, Omubuamo, man, teacher and the Edrono, in Kambebunu Ekutem Niadia, a bad question. A memuano, Omubums as a porto, the Akos who know.
And some tragedy a Juma Yisika Juma. Na so what said you ma etisana mo de or my who don't a yamun century humanity netisao. Sa one say almost she said Juma de Yisika de Abomo Daiso. Almost danko phobi pay rules say almost saying. It one theatre, Embra Minibishia. Medini shia tisani awukan yo papa jenen sam na no kasa sanam so enyewe eja sha yempe lunch kakra lunch ne ba mu na asesa on se ne wiase si de anu pipiripie se aduane ni mu a ekata bom yempe aduane ma wo it's simple enunti na wase obi a wo do the base no Wadawoma contribution be a ubetimi and I'm slow at this moment of time. Would you from on an person young kuntabu dear for meso? Slow. Now you're making sure say you're protected with seat. Now we have good feedback. Benkasi and you be new. But for now, yes, you say, I see about near my home because Pin Kuran will be here. E ma said this ania ejo tibo sudi mercy we say me ye madwuma protected nioma e ma frustrations bi e ma menipa ba mumu enti me framo saafo ni nyina no e wo ho say Ashanti region communication team any near all take over as the regional PRO na free me no e se me ma won training e se me ma wo mo ekokoko stations ni nyina iska Nyame ya adumu a oyirepa meni me team no eko oyirepa morning show almost omo je 1,000 Ghana just for about 45 minutes discussion. Say sikani wa how do you do it? And you know mesle say obi betimi adum me 1,000 Ghana bebo ni din woso say ono na sponsor ma yetim bedi dwumason e ma the base.
And the Obenya Bebre, and the Obenya Bebre, Yen no na Wenya Bebre, promise 1,000 Ghana wouldn't crew no coil a pa. And some Pia Bontino, and Ramico network me so. Me Pia Bontime buy na me bottoms 1,000 Ghana. Because a Yendu Babia donation eba, Mr. Oti, any ye mubinum kakra de toasieno. Ano permiti omsis kanasa edu se adwuma no se wonti ya wo ya se woni do ema oman no a wan we ya obefa ne se jama wo mo no tan no tan de base dabi eiskasem moma yemfa duane hye omonum na omuhunu se yen kwan no ede esen afoforo nkwan a obehu praises omre be mai na ayamia apostle one ma omo agi atum so mbabua no so omo ye adwuma yafo omo ye adwuma na so omo de adwuma bi enu omo yo
wo ma babua in what sense
the base omo are committed to help na sabre yen champion the course ebum ye adwuma dada ana omo ye adwuma
no kwasem ni mi ankasa no me nhyede nimbi on se me de na me ya public figure ni dodo na hume na afe na me ne wonu mahiehyia me no mesaye patron chairmanship no
na me ya say we no buy na me push here no na mo foforo enti na fe na no ma hyehia nkobodie mu bia betime hu say we wo yire oni yire we wo ya adwuma onya adwuma but me hwe secretary ne dia ono no office woda bia na dia meka say the base adwuma no we because center oye adwuma bia nkonti me yesa ma yeda bia na yentua ne ka enti no ma ye ne say me ba officer me ne betrans na fe ma hwe sania esitie na baby sha ase eba yetima dwene monthly ye betimi di amano na ono so atumi ayo to what we say question pa ese ye bo ho ban if so obi nya adwuma o how betumi aba
exactly
ya na je koto hokora no na ko yen sisem na ko
ye nyina etu ho ache na ye sesei ewom se du baby a ya suma wo behia wo transfer na so obi wo ho a o take advantage and there or the bewuram bibia ne honti bibia asasa I party no and a fund e ba sanso dia na edu bibia na omanfo bi we kire omo ani bebre ho nti e ba sere
na ade ba kon so ne say obia so a ye di bibi be hye ne nsa bia enko ya ade ba kon te se bia bana o se enye nipa miensa omo di invoice beba na ye hunu say we quality wise we so price whatever so ye be kon say enti all those things in ye meshes a eye adwuma and one when ye bi be ka say oh papa we na semodin abi ma semonya den eye me way of life a wumi yie na ne me san yie a boni bia nim dimboni bia ma amanfo de anigye ne kwa hosan o mbe hu se bibia mu da ho pefe enu ntina asori bia me pastor bia wonti dede wom asori bia ma pastor wonti confusion because ye ade no pepe simple just do the right thing and everybody will be happy enya kududu
na ewusu a wote sanu so wusu na wunya time bebreo and because ajeman wa baje akantan so because open kwara mi wa block no enti safo a wote sanu a few people na omuwom say be ya manfo beg say yes the base ye conway transparency enye adwuma ye nya leader wo pe transparency so na embebru ni bi mo omu tese omu keka omu tibom subamba ni
no pepa no kreotano de ewo ho na ya memfa nyasem memfa nyasem ne hia ne se oni ya no tan de tan wo no hwe no wanto ne mfidi a wosumo mu wo hwe ho su ye ana da bia no metu wo no mofo se esese obi a hwe no ho ye na se bi empranpransem bia nkoba so ye be mu ye be ma fe obehwe no ye be pon no obi fisi so oba bi ho ye na kono no okose ne pe sa na me nyina ya de a ebe distract eye the base adwuma na we don't want it obi oba ye se bia no ye ntwema no se oba be se ne ye no bi kura no you be yire eno wa ba ko ye sa ko fa trouble bibiri dia ba okunu tifia so onya party no enye fe enye
yo apostle we de wanuham ebusia like we said right now enche ye team ne beko radio stations akokasa inti station ne beje 1000 Ghana it's just less than $100 minim say me nkrofo na wo ha ne de obu akra wo mu agi atuma wo pri bebre na mo man started contribution ebi na abei ebi ni waka ni pen de ayede koye mumpuru mataba mu ne ehwe we obi kura betimia etekini na afa nanso apostle minim say yenwie no na wenya call from abrochire say yafaka no
sanati meko eye asfm na meko gi budget na meko no na omo abamu obu se nyame na meko anko mo pamu ni pakro asekire ne say honorable radio station no aya na amanfo bu omo kwasia especially MPP4 omo di station na boa party ni sama ebra nkunimdie baaye no na wosenka omo tumi di amemu omo fasodie bi ewura station mo boa papa no na itimi pija because papa no radio no sabi kwan bi so nye ni din na daso ne yire en wodi sika ewura ma tamase se wa bre enye no kwa na adwuma sabi we establish enti no edu baabi a ehu aba behia se yen a ye pese ye the base no enu ni one station a ansa na ye bedwini station bia no esi hwe na momo ba te se kwasi kwatin ya wogigye wo be kumasi a sika wo be ye no na de call loss na de ko wona ko twetwa ma wo no akokasa na wagya honorable akompreku station atoa wo fa sika ni bi nko no mo so nya bi e de atofutuom on eniema bi wo ho a enye fese nipa ye enti me ko na ja me de chopa se mesremo mo de mo fa we nche na senia me ye mo pet time no ma the base because any pay tie honorable station na the base for nkwa omo pass papa bi atie na week by week yentimi nya omo so omo dwene ho na omo hu no mbe ye na chese kakra ye nso no ye de be so omo asene no na omo so nya bi aboso me so a omo etimi de atue omo ho ka enti na ho so ade no ho so de no because maboa bloggers anu a bloggers ni nyina so be hia mo registration center a omo ba yen start ye na mu if possible crab ye man in life na amanfo a omususu say jama as a 9-day wonder say di behunu ye do no MPP ayede o man na dawo ye o man sikasem ene o man nsuo sem akwan nipa a obetimi abu man na ye pressure safo no betima so o man mu a o si ye di nwura mo ye di nwura mo akogro beso when what idea so what the base the MPP and to and a year on
ayo yo apostle obi person bisa some hello
anka be mpacho machi o
me just to say
ala dadu mboko yo
bisa ni tew why me brenti
yo me pacho na me bisa ya papa se unse na ne kasa no de ebisade bi betu yanim efa computer no ene what do call printer no na me bisa say onka ho asem bibia aye okay say me provide amano
na ye the whole Ghana regions no na ye pe offices a enye baby fa akopɛ nti ye pe no dodo nti obi mfamba ye nti se wo bi a fabra ye baje.
Okay, Mpacho Mate. Mpacho na Mpacho ayi ya friend say ayi scanner o kan na no Mpacho ayi sika dada nim na nka o kan na ka ye hu.
1,000 Ghana into UK crowd dey be 75 pounds.
Okay. Yo Mpacho ene Mpacho me de ayi emu fa beba.
Mbo
ntino.
Emu fa mfa se be 35 pounds wo hu.
Mpacho emu fa ntino o de ayi ya o mami ayi
okay 1,000 Ghana no apostle obi say ye nua ba ko UK on so obema half of the 1,000 Ghana na ye dey call radio station ako preach no enti say send no information no na normal mo person the fast no na or the fast am why
medas nyame hira no papa na ne din so bedrum panimfo anim me wo ngoma bi da ha wo ma di donation wo ma di emma ye niema ni nyina matwetwere ni nyina ntinia ebeba no ye nsaka pe me de betro woni ye phobia anim na modi atuga se we die nipa na kan na ba na no nia odeka ehye bon sei no no o kire se fort bi e wo hunti gi se ye tu ebo kakra na o ma fort no o mo ye ho adwuma wi a ansana ye nsaka nti madam manen no so e de no computer no so ebo no wa hye na emum eno so mai e ba ye be distribute a video
anka be pacha me de to so
ye be ko all the regions ye be twa ni nyina.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Opening eja send phone number. Wo de ebefa so ama o na o de akodi akotin. Ti mo say station to station o mo koni na. Eso mo kotua eta. Enso ba minifobia. Okọ na ba. Okọ the reason show. Okọ we for Ken TV. Okọ the PhD. Okọ Atija official Atija. Yan jiska o. Enso yen na o manfo no tie yen. Yanjis kanansi eja ubanai de ayo
mekina we so na masrese enuanom madaruma mon supporto yewura abe ene mo abobodin no na adwuma na mo ye no enkuransha na no say media team no efrem enkuransha omo de hyeye no chese echen yekura yetigan ha ye adwuma no enti motivation ne fa menye free abe ene phobia ho sesi ya no mafro na ekosen mo yesen Oma empono inti mesremu monso masene mayen na yentimi nko hwe enhwehwemu bi adadi me ohona owura bi efre na American fo wo mu a wo ye abambofo tetifu adwuma yi pese meka no borofum omo agent owo Ghana ha ofre me obekuma sekra na yakọ confidential meetings na o kyerɛ enhwehwemu a o maye say the base no how powerful are eye say ebetimi ama compare kwa we na election and will brief me enya sam ketwa o enti nya agodie na yedi ni saa no jenua no mu nyina yen come together na with any strength I betimi pull to make sure say the base ekonanim this week ni de besim say ebanimfo no dwene official registration omo dwene account omo buobue eniema fsf ebema fapem no nyina tintim pa eno omo ye ho adwuma ne osam de betu dwa bia omo wie omo kuruchire ma mepe I'll just put it in a public domain for people to know where we started and where we are. Very interesting.
Apostle Masrawa anka obabuam na wode momo no mana for this particular donation ya radio for the call advert no now they are tujana omanfo bi a pledge
meme number no de mentimi mfan to mitrim na yasemo
mame amenyiwa ha na me mfama omo okay enti 0538 7 3 and then 569 no mano ena mede atoso no enti wo bia opese enei ye papa mo ebekọ akobo the base wo de omo di kotua radio station no na yenya airtime omo nkodi omo anum yes 1000 Ghana enti wo frɛ no mana wo best media sande mpache di ni edi me na woso
ebeba Paul J Ventures Shannon so
into 0538 873 569 Paul J Ventures we apostle ejekum nankasa no mebekọ ho akonta bosu beba mubia mubesane akobia nso odimudin bema yen na yabodin na yadamwase mehun se yewra Frederick okay Frederick say I'll pay half yenu aba ko frɛ you can also be pay half ba ko so send me WhatsApp so on krado be tua 1000 na ne bu afu ne bu krafu
dajo abe ayi Kumasi executive no say memfa to monim say ye di account no to gwa no obi aye donation of 700 enti no say nipa no ye be pull statement na ya frɛ no adanase na obi aye bibisa amfa memeso a oma menhu na yen cross check it yen pen say obi be take advantage of the base na obi ayemu ye na obi ado me say ebra ye call 2023 election yi na ye call 2026 abe arewo anytime be bre ende sofo amponsa yes sofo amponsa afi no menya ne number mini team eko papa ne nase akoda nase on behalf of a comprecon na ya sande we ya to monim say onua na montu ye foforo wo say aduani se nipa ne bi owo a asende won be die bi no magije adwuma boso obetim di sika ba so bi print t-shirt do be onye na kwa ya asem e ba sa na pressure no ba yeso enti ne yasesam no say this time no we the base yen kon sada enti wo mo bibi say wo de boa ma ye hunu ne ntwe odin to bukum na ye bi owo a ye di amount no brego ya.
All right, thank you very much, Papa. We dear nipa bebre eni age because yena transparency adwuma obi donatia onsuro onim sɛ akunta abu bɛba ho minima sorbia emfi bebre ni ubisansa na nti offering ne tight bebre be fa hia na sofo bu efu oso wuntimi aso wuntimi sum awurade akọ nyame ankasa ne mbebu akonta
totally wrong wuntimi nko gisika free omanfo ho wo bra wo mu ne kuo ni wo mu dia umu nkunta nkyere won that is totally wrong wrong
yo Apostle me de ubesi ha me brenti me ku adwuma ewimre baba tuaso nti se wo bibi eka kire Ghana fo a wonu mutina ufo no mei se obi pesa odwan the base no wo Ghana nso a we ya betimi adena na wo no mafofo bi ho
ya ha baby owo no platform no dos nti ofresa ma ye de no beto baby a ebeboa no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Ebusia enti.
Ya mebetna die chatwa ne say. Nia aboa wo puraburo no ye nchechire na no. Phobia. Ene eye
abeku kenjesi.
Abe. Juma mo ye no sonobo adofunu miguso mesre madawruma $20, $50, $100 enye bad o beda be sorry na se radio no nyom nko an wo bo no obi e maso okura wure be ho enje momye mwa won na entena ho da ne empempema nkoma de tie mu wo Ghana ena ma be ni phobia nti eye me nwanwa senye interview pa de base amoya na nka menim se mo radio ni e powerful sa. Very powerful.
My God.
Very powerful. There was influence wa Ghana hapa.
That's right.
Inti mesiramu obi kura wo sika no betimi a invest in mo a joint na mo be bie Ghana kan nyina nka boa ene wo bia pesa wo
ni say no my there on be say no
oh one be say no metingo ma me wa he wo be bie ma no ma mo bia say no man minister because then ya me woni say political power party be a moon said the stations pino ya na winning election your problem of Ghana.
Yeah.
Because omu use media until NDC gaining control because about 60% of radio no they are behind omu they are MPP for media stations omu station boy no mu ni manso nkwata so ko yentoto asa na wasorko sika no so a obegye so okotua no so a no akọ negotiate akotua half bad oh me best me yin ko photo
yo afos yeah that's it ya be sure so far inipa 4 na apply ntie bia no man adadua no obenya omo alert why na bia kosunti yate monso mo na adwuma mbo
yo send the message na minhu oncha we no
screenshot
na you know fan send me here.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. Ebusia yane Apostle Paul Kofi Ejekum and yane edin komo the way Ghana on behalf of the bees. We are very serious and ye agrudi and a yeridi eni braba pa na minim se wankasa so ujitum se the ekono ahoma no yate free nti ebi obi ti bebi kase o ne edro no de omoma yenkwa reconciliation so omu fi so omu ne obi omu akopro bi akoye bibi na omu akoye omu nko but not the base de mo omu mbo nwurem emfa yeso the third force party Ghana no bia wo ho kwan so obete the party and I don't see why somebody should sit somewhere and have hate or be angry for somebody trying to form a party. We are not restricted yen chichire yen so bia ne ho kwan so obete party Ghana as many as you can among for gamuti en kosi hwe yatu abakura munya 1% yate nanso yebati na wo hwam frama na ebo no ene se de agrada ebubom na wo hwe lightning na eba na se the base ahode the force of gravity a edinam eba na se wo tira na okekasa ya yebehwa ade enti abusia me di mwasi opasa wo fra ubetimi akasa 1 minute afre o kasa buruso me kwa adwuma ayesa so de amakona yumre ye ba na ya toa so. But in the meantime, I am follow ye na wo social media ye na ye adwuma no. Ye na ye adwuma no. Enti ukophobia member TV. And the idea de ncheche no jegum sa. Enti sa pepe na tie wako ekwo na ba ho no nsu jegum wako the reason show no jegum official atija na jam Kumasi online TV no jegum we are for Ken TV o jegum afenso uko PhD Ken na chese Ken 22 obia TikTokers ye na ye adwuma no. Hello
abeg nyamia so drink
council
the base
Ghana first
akronfo so ye den esru na abe adwuma wo ye no once they am come see abe adwuma na wo ye no we 60 the whole back say bia wo di agro ba who make impact
sawo hu
o dens abe we ni pakese at it unji wo hu di ba ye no ye jiwudi abe uji wo hu di we go saw there uji wo hu di
menje me hu ndi
abe you are making impact. Oh God, so ti papa no massive.
Lucky do best, don't trust yourself. Into me nipa.
Abe, how much me sole bebe 4 o'clock and I'm here papa interview. Na ani je bia eno me na me boy twice be 3 times. Me driver kwa na me bo. O si he utibonsu nimpenifo bi se Canada Japan. A friend say nim die ni a friend say ade won more person de maga no mo hwe na dey ensay and no oka asem to be honest hit me rough and I'm so wow. Now that means there is hope Ghana for second de Japan e won pebi won mo a yenhwe mane nsay dia ene ye nyina be dey say a do all na so be announce papa no we are into go so kan baby o say omo expect say Ken baba announce no be announce ni stand say o ha no wa na say oba the base ye nyina ye de kokromoti ye ni tumi bia ye kokromoti ne de ba akokasa na ebe Ghana fa ne to pefra nti papa ne san kan baby wutie interview na video bia no also say base by nche bia o the way I spread the Ghana by the next 6 months they be na Canada Japan ban and so any amount for best attend heart attack
yo
you fancy baby nsionka
matefosia
your friend said or say bones or say chain mensa or so obekwa crack ohuni nua no afa so it makes sense obi a oni nyina parliament mo na fofo ne de okofa ni nua so den na akọ wrong uti akofa ni nua so you say wabe anase mwa Canada Japan free MPP BM na me kwakra da o say chairmansa or ye trofo as say Ghana fu nye hu o ye chese omo no nye Ghana ye yo omo ye clueless enye Ghana ye yo send obenya position obi ehun open vice president
o ye chama so me ma 1 minute mpacho fesi o kasa bro sia
papa we interview no wa Ghana ye nya hope say Canada Japan alantra mati nyina ahase o nyina e ba che se Ghana ba be fa ne to me pefra abe nyankopon hia ne adwuma pa wo ye the base
Ghana first hello George
Akrabe
yes it's somebody tune yanko
nyamia Akrabe mi tia nyami share papa apostle ajekum
yo
the base Ghana first the base ebeji Ghana is the base akronfosro Akrabe meet mama have enti mpotio ankrabe yapa number no pasend me na me improve
no that screen share computer no so share screen once me de blue background and that so +233 538 873 569 and that so no intifa why
what the blue na na
eno and that top no
okay
nti bombo dia
edin be na baba
Ose Paul J Ventures Usevua.
Okay, enti me de be ma obi wo Ghana na o de amanu.
Mbo, aya mo mfa screenshot mbreye na yetimi acknowledge mo.
Ampoche yo, Mati.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Hello Frank.
Yankabe, Yechobia.
Boko at saying.
Yeah, I do more. Yes, you be granny be to the mao. Yes, you back communicators no.
That's right.
Ma also me be sham lonseless ma bom tie. So you there a benter na de no ho na nkofo hu no. Ya also you be kasa bi. Enti yakopon ni kire wo na the same time so yens ka boko. Onye ni nyina na ebetumi aka wo mfamam da. At least. Yeah, kasa nyina no at least who station so or scan bia. Enti me adom na say nyame station wa ba na wa build yen so yen communication skills although yen perfect ba na e motive bi there nyame adom yen so betumi akasa o baby and nipo no dey di na chi na or dey so be pay platform do yen yakopon si share that in a way no so also build yen confidence level outside and takana so betumi aye no yen so be na dey abo no boken nti e be say the base that at least one better think of be how to vote na dey the importance of your kokomoti in at the same time to a bank for so they nya now at the same time we're building for how to speak in terms of politics you know on your at him didn't continue what to convince nipa ntanka be nya kopon show no sha apostle the wotum ananka sa reputation ya high wotum abode wo masisia no ne nanka sa lifestyle wotum aye what you call wotum win more so another wotum win more people ama honorable ken because of nanka sa na blabo wa abon dem ne show the obi aso na blabo.
Thank you. Welcome to the base. Thank you very much. Ebusiafo. Medemu AC. Yamin shira mo papa. Na woni ma de ba kon. Me fi asese me show State of the Nation address. A whole Ghana ye man peni na ekase yi. Mentimi ancross 90 views. For about 1 hour no. Inipa eba so no. Intimi ancrosso 90 views. Aya 86 na tiaba 70. I'm say hadan. If me di me switchi am here ma me boss aje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah voice na me wura the base na me say 150 160 na me say hey the base oman for twanyampa hey a whole president ye bona de ma e bi oman for hwe baby na nso sanka mkasa nkase ya na view no beye efidi ya mesreshi na me de ba de beza ebezi that tells you the power of the base. And to thank you very much, Robert Sandako. Good morning, Abeku. Always Royal says sooner upcoming. And I'll say, why are the MPP MPs in all black? Are they in mourning? Yakwana yensonye adisiani apomudeye obiara sorry yeva odonye yafamudie amayi na rekweja yen obiara sorry yeva odonye yafamudie Share agura na wonu mu di wo parliament mo hwe yeah wo mo akofefa koko ekutekuta ana ade yedede wo parliament asip so mo ye bida wo se de o mo say o ma no ma yen say ya anti wesuba no obeku atia wei na we ba na oku atia wei santi ye ba wie no na oman ni tim de tim ye ntimi enkoyenim because always two elephants are fighting, so it is the grass that suffer. And to say we say no winim a country that can develop, it is true say cross checks and balances in the more mind bia so we are buying ubetimi ejina wonanso but Ghana ye dey time so on the omoye omoakofa koko ekutekuta de abetra parliament ebe ka kira ban se koko ekurafu sika amotete so no eno nso affect oman no ama koko na koko na mokoto no sen in the first place besin ne besinde obi to kwan obi to Ghana, please buy me chocolate, especially a mano chocolate tipe omo pena ye binie otigana chocolate kra ebo no ye bindi just ya towa abrochire ene de abra am ya da so ye koko hu dede. And we don't have a leader that will stop all this going on. What would you amoya ho? The base yebrenie, the base akromfosro, the base afefeshi anye ni ekono. This is the right time for the base. Ebusia muma yan sorry anya sa omode yeseka bedwa nanka yo Anumuna always royal. Thank you. Ebenezer Bestman say good morning family. Ebenezer Bestman the base Ghana first. And Frank J says good morning ABK and everyone on the platform. The base the base Ghana first. The base all the way. Tom Andrew Asante say the base the base. Good morning Prophet ABK, Oba, Gina, and all friends on this wonderful platform. As I have said before, we are still waiting for the right moment when the man makes a move. Always Royal says, State of the Nation address by Mahama, all seated, about to start. Rita Matim say, good morning to everyone. The base, we move Ghana first. Always Royal say, Nanadu couldn't attend the Sona for the genuine reasons. Always Royal say, Bamia, where are you seated at the Sona? Get lost. And also Royal say, ha 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 ha, Coco. I better he can say good morning. So far, Beku, I'm connected. Please share, like, so for God bless you. The base BBC Ghana first, Collins Asante there, and also King Poloba Kwame. Ghana, good morning, Honorable ABK. Sona has always been about the English speaking, West play, promises, and yeah, which does not bring growth into the lives of the people. And always Royal say, yeah. Georgina Wusu, good morning, brother Beku. And Beatrice Apia says, so far, so good. President Mahama, thanks for making the city strong enough to put up good fight against Forex. The base is lacing boots to take over. Kennedy Eva say, good morning, family. And always Royal say, Mahama is hilarious. We didn't arrest the dollar. Always Royal say, Totema oil refinery is back. Conscious Edu says, good afternoon, ABK. Philomena Yabua Mensa says, good morning, Abe, and all the family, all the base family, the base Ghana first, the base we move, the base job for the youth, the base we are connected. Always Royal Bonisem, Diasa Dabre upcoming, and Emmanuel Ekin, Emmanuel Kanse, Halakesa, like, share, the base Ghana first. Bonnie Godfrey say, good afternoon, Pastor Abe, lovely family members. King Poloba say President Mahama likes fan pow. Hey, Bonnie Godfrey say MPP egu. Na Iko say good morning Abe. Efira Mama Babs, Mama Georgina. I say Kwame Abrade there, Franco Wusu, Tia Ube Diobecho COP, Omega the producer, and all listeners here. Always rest in the base. Lucy Aji about to tell us thank you very much, brother Abe, for playing this important speech from our doctor. And Patrick Kwekwe Japan said the base. Come and see Ghana. Collins Asante say Nkrumah never dies. Patrick Kwekwe Japan say Ghana leaders are wicked. Salim Basibabi says Kennedy 2028. And Alex there.
In the heart of our land, some stars to beat. Call to everyone.
Young messages and also Alex Israel said the base very little time the whole Ghana will be connected. Alex says, I used to dislike politics until I begin to listen to this pastor, Openi Ejekum. And Kennedy Bible said the base, God affairs. Phobia Mama TV said the base. Fantastic. Please share. Kennedy Bible said God affairs. Impolo Bakwam said the base. PhD, the base. Ghana affairs, the base. Akron Fosuro. And then Samuel Tata said, good morning, Mr. Abi and family, the base. Grand John said the base, Ghana first. Martin Kwekweja upon a simple OB piece. Simple OB piece, where is the message? I did not hear for so. Mayeda. Namati me akani na na mapon. Ewrade me wu. Pese me pe. Hey. Okay, I get it already. Let's continue. I'll say a simple OB Peace FM Kwame Sefakai. They are simple OB. Okay, OB Peace FM Kwame Sefakai. We are very, very medias. Now, Frederick Boatin Sabe, I will pay half. Thank you, Frederick. Slang one they say, what Apostle Jekum is saying is 100% true. If you really want someone to tell you more stuff or shout out their mouth up, just feed them your ears. You will break. Face mark say Ken will be the next president. I say Ghana by a year. Josephine Petit Miami say good afternoon, Abe. And the listeners, the base Ghana Fest. Slang wonders I like to contribute towards the spreading of the good news. The base Ghana Fest. The base Unapo. The base Akonfosro. Face mark say Josephine, welcome to the base. Face mark say Abe play opening Japonko song. And the first mark say, Josephine, welcome to the King's Jersey TV share. Your lovely ones. Josephine, you are welcome to the show. And the base are from 40. I ring for her. Honestly, I switched as soon as I saw President Muhammad on your screen. First mark say, the base, Ghana by a year. I say, it's not interesting to watch nation speech. The same ocean. Our old hopes is onion for Kennedy Japan, who can make Ghana great again. Now I see Cake Rocks and Elizabeth says, won't go to Uncle Abe, Sorella Rosa Inley. Thank you very much. Josephine Yamiya say, Face Max, I'm really on Abe program since, but my name have changed. Riku Abe, the base will survive. The NDC in their first year has done better than the MPP in all their 8 years. Daniel Forrest, Uncle Abe, please send me the name of the name to send the money, please.
Watch our nation
all right, we see a form that wants to be the moose here as some equate Juma. Miss Lewa didn't shira mamo. Ebra Munyama yin. Na ye. The State of the Nation address on Ebeji Brenny Bibre. Inti amayen timi and contribute to Mumfanchame. Nemum, wherever you are, remember to follow the base. And you will be a corner. Nyomana ye ni na no. Ye. Munkosu ye de. Monji yentum. Monka huasam. Mumbo hudeuro. Not the base, but the big announcement will come to your satisfaction. May God bless you so much. Now, you know about was sending the Sikano Kra Kodada 72 pounds. And was Sunday, yeah. We could not just say cover 1,000. No, now so Munya Bia, and yet one station on Mako on Maji. Then from Omaba Buha Kuntama, and Monko is still pending, but me assure say with no time ever come. Enti wasande Akopol J Ventures opening Yankropong Onshirao Papa. I don't mind if you want me to mention the name on air, but the name is NK. NK. There be NQ. Need any NQ.
my bone, sorry.
It didn't end kill them in Shumaba. I will be back, God willing, tonight for us to continue the show. May the Lord bless and keep you safe. But Medano, a man for a friend, but me pedio, or better than Uncle, so you're just calling. Oh, fra. Now what to fear no 7 master bedroom house at AC Dowenya community 25 side. 7 master bedroom house. Ekuta security post, a santu kuta boys quarters, a chireno as a satayam the who would bet him the swimming pool. And then is 70% completed. 70% completed. Na se omu wie danwa. Na se 70% de se na kaka krebi na che se omu wie meboa. Se ye ka se bibi is 70% completed nipa no wa pass el code extension. Na che se kaka krebi na che se ne edano won me kuku ewie. It's roofed. Ya plaster sisi simpuma ni bi akaka kra finishing touches na wo wakwa wie. Nti ni wura no so dia Ghana ekono ose onko onda nko nti de obi nkoto na onwie na onfanye ni business. 7 master bedroom. Se kase master bedroom na say a house its own toilet and bath in each room. Master bedroom so dia ya na toilet and bath so emusu kama nti we de monkwe na monkwe ya adoye we ya adoye po ye na ye mo adoye because ya teso ne buo no so da fam you can afford it na wakwa akoto na wetumi ajo so mu wie dan no a this is how it's going to be like I'm fancy na hwe na wa hu so mu wie dan na the finishing no this is how it's going to look like me wie pe na me soro so na me pon enti me pesa me de dan no kira mo na mu hu those interested should go and call even my memfa phone number we answer nto so with the mon friend number na da so no just call the number on it. A very beautiful edifice. Na mon frère plus 447459690470 wofra one obedi hu nkomo wo de unya information e wo Kings Jersey the only building unya asase ho mansotwe is every document from A to Z are completed, ready, sealed with all the land titles, everything ready. Inti unimse Ghana asase to so de ehu manso twinti bebre owie na osantwa ho kwan wo court unya bisa. The house is almost completed. 70% of this is already done. Fre na woni ni uranenka na bibia nkoso kama afenso me bom nka se DKY Night of Comedy and Music nso baso eno yame yadoma 13th of June. DKY Night of Comedy and Music and now behu adwumtofo akukudam Great Ampon Ochiame Kwame any Kofi Kenata na acrobato and obabaye MC ediamaye enti meet Dan Kweku Yeboa DKY the finest comedian Obi Amponsa Clemento Juarez and Lesky the comic chairman general and so babetechire enti prepare na dano so 13 June yawo bosum na nche na ewie sisi ya February akona ewie ya wie nti stay tuned yame yadoma bibia ba remember that the base enwa eda yebo hu dewuro yame nhira mo nyina
mamonne nije ahofari yada awutumi so nsakra ya ude
ma kana dia Japan na me frefre no akomple kumbe ma no asini be ma nyansafo wodi ni mudie ni nyansa som wo maye obema wo kasa nyansa wo mu animdie wo mu ohine ye de kwa die ni o aye ye jae aye wo kare die Japan ye so wo si ye de kwa ye yo ye de kwa die ni o aye wo hine obema ye obema kukodu ye de kwa die ni o Kagana yemele Canada Japan ye now so mema wa me man ke blow ye now so mema wa me ma Kagana yemre Canada Japan ye now so mema wa me ma ye blow ye now so mema wa me ma Kagana yemre Canada Japan ye now so mema wa me man ke blow